close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go.
Now, my mic's working and everything. We turn off the music, and then you guys aren't muted. We might actually get a recording out of this. Out of this.
Here we go.
So, hello. So I want to make a quick note here in the beginning of the episode that we start off doing our normal thing where we look at social media posts. I tried something different where you could actually see the posts. So hopefully that helps a little bit when we're talking about it, so it's not just you hearing me read something off of my phone. But also, you'll be able to tell visually we kind of shift, and the social media posts will get taken off, and we start talking about rules for a good life. And that's actually probably even more than the second half. It's like the second 2/3 of the podcast. And I think that's where we really hit our stride in that area. It's very good, great conversation, thoughtful, meaningful stuff going on. So, just in case you watch it and you're like, I don't like watching people discuss social media, I don't care, I would highly advise at least scroll forward and scroll. That was the most southern I've ever. Scroll forward! But scroll forward and just watch that second half, because I think you'll really enjoy it. Also, please like, sub, and comment. And even if you don't sub, that's fine. But liking and commenting, the way YouTube has changed their algorithm, just views don't help much anymore. So yes, it would be very helpful if you would actually engage with the video. That way we can, get better. Like, we are trying to get better as we go. I'm trying to get better at not mumbling and cutting myself off mid-sentence and talking too quickly, and which is tough because I get excited by some of our topics. But hopefully you will actually enjoy the video we put out. I think this is a really, really good podcast. I think it, especially the second part, really hits a stride that most people will be able to enjoy. So I'm hoping this gets out and more people get to watch this. Thank you for watching. Appreciate it. Now I return you to the normally recorded content. So with me today is Placebo and Brody. Who knows? As we know, there's always surprise entries halfway through. So, Evil could come here, Kens could jump, and we don't know. It's always a fun, exciting party to see who jumps in midway through the process. But how are you guys doing today? I'll just start out with some light banter.
Doing good. Doing well.
Placebo, you doing all right?
I am also doing well,
Okay.
Usual stuff. Nothing crazy.
So.
Yep, just working, playing dad.
Yep. If everybody notices, everybody look at Placebo's shoulder. No, he's trying to hide it. He's trying to hide it. He got a tattoo.
It doesn't exist. Well, in the lost session, we talked about you prepping me to get the tattoo.
Yes.
Now here we are, and I've gotten it.
Yeah. People don't know. They missed like three different sessions of podcasts that did not. Well, actually, they do, because I put up a video saying that we lost 3 different sessions. I was trying to record a podcast. So that's.
I would normally not be dressed like this. I don't feel comfortable.
You're thug?
In
yeah,
this.
no, you're going thug. I
really don't like it, but it's not yet comfortable enough to just wear clothes over without it irritating me and me feeling weird.
No, I thought you were changing your whole persona. Instead of being like philosopher or high school teacher, you're gonna be like, yo, what's up, everybody? We up here in Gainesville, West Side.
It's the two halves of Florida, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's I've been the one half too long. It's time to go into full like cocaine meth head.
He's embraced his crazy Floridian.
Yes. All right. Well, another thing that we figured out while you guys missed because I fucked up some other things, is we can now do screen sharing so that when I show you no, not screen share. That is incorrect. When I want to show you hold on, gotta pull it up. Things from Twitter, I can actually show it to you. There it is. Okay. So pooba da pooba da boo. Now let me make this big again. All right. This is one of my favorite memes that I've seen. Literally nobody. Pedro Pascal when he starts to feel anxious.
I have no idea what this is. I know it's
I don't know
The
what this
Sopranos.
means.
It's the soprano banging his wife from behind. And so it's basically saying, like, that's how Pedro Pascal starts treating women when he starts to feel quote-unquote anxious, and there's a reason for this. So, this is Pedro Pascal recently on the red carpet. Let's just go ahead and watch. He's like, oh, hey. Watch. That's a bit, like, this is a married woman, and he's putting his hands kind of all, and she's kind of like, okay.
Oh, and her body language is like, get off me, dude.
And she's like, and then she kind of pushes his arms away, and she was like, all right, your hands have been around my waist a little too. It's not just like, hey, he held them there too long, but it gets even better. I like this point. He never gets the anxiety gropes around men, does he? Like, I've never seen him. Let's see if this actually. That's not too bad, but he was just talking about it. But hold on, here we go. This is really awkward too, because she's doing it back.
Far.
Just our hands.
Yeah. As long as you don't
Yeah, that's a little much for a married woman to be doing.
Yeah.
Terrible confession to make in front of Gordon.
It's because some of the best men in the world, so they don't count.
These are gorgeous. That's my. I think that's my favorite image so far.
I was not a fan of
Just
any
our
of this happening. But.
That was our very first day
as long as
well.
you don't have to see my face.
All right, so now let me mute this. Like, I mean, that is something. Hold on, God
Yeah,
dang
what a pause. What a pause right there. That's not right. It's a married woman? No, thank you.
Yes, I want this. I'm having issues with Discord wanting to continuously turn off the video on that where I'm trying to show it to you. You guys can see it, but Discord's like, we're saving you resources. I don't want the resources saved. Please stop doing that. But yeah, it's starting to get to a point where I'm like, that's a bit, yeah, I did this again. It was just the same thing where she's just caressing him. It's a weird, like, he is one of those things that I genuinely think it's going to come out that he's not a good, he's not a good guy. He's way too touchy and, like, feely. We've paused the show. Okay, I don't want that. Thunder. I'm going to have to work on that in the future, but I'll just leave this up for now. I don't understand why this is seen as, I don't know. What's your feelings about this man being... No. Keep you talking, I'll fuck.
Terrible behavior.
I don't know, man. I feel really bad about the whole thing. I also feel bad that she's doing it back, and I feel bad that I don't know if she's doing it back because she feels like an obligation because it's leaving him out on a limb if she doesn't. I don't know if she's... I think the world's all sorts of fucked up with this sex positivity thing where it's like, yes, it's cool to like just do things with other people. Like you don't have to, monogamy is not within us as a species is commonly the arguments.
Yeah.
And I don't like any of it. So situationships are a huge thing now, right?
Like a work wife or whatever?
Something like that. I call them situationships. That's what I know them as.
Okay.
It's where people get into pseudo relationships and then they don't want to define it, right? And they don't want to say, oh yeah, we're just fucking, or oh yeah, we're not fucking, but he buys me dinner, right? And so they lump everything into the category of situationship, right?
Yeah.
And if you ask anyone, like, do you think situationships are good? I think like 8 out of 10 people will say no, it's bad.
If they're being honest, yes. If they don't feel like it's going to,
meet them alone in private and say you're not going to show their face with the answer. And I think 8 out of 10 say
I would agree with
it's
that.
a bad thing. And yet here in public, we look at this, and I think a lot of people, unfortunately, will look at this and say, oh, this is great that they're so sex positive.
No,
right? And they're so, they're so confident in their own relationships, right? Think of Invisible Woman's husband, right? And how confident he must be, right? This was a big thing with Michael B. Jordan in Sinners with, what's her name? Haley something. But she was marrying someone else, and then the Sinners movie came out right before she married him, and it was like some serious sex scenes between her and Michael B. Jordan, and then everyone was like, oh, well, imagine being the guy to have to watch that. And everyone was like, oh, no, I think it's great. I think it's just so wonderful. And I've
always thought that about, I mean, I can almost see kissing because, like, in acting, you have to do a little bit, but I think where Hollywood's taking it, it's too far. Like, if you're a husband and some guy is just, even if he's got some cloth over his groin and she's got a little bit, if they're dry humping aggressively and she's, I mean, like, that's just a little, like,
yeah.
At some point in time, I don't think you're not actually comfortable with it, and I don't know being an actor or an actress is a good enough excuse to be banging on screen. Like,
I think there's nothing wrong with saying yes, we did it for this. I was deeply uncomfortable with it. They were deeply uncomfortable with it, but we did it because it was part of the job, right? Like that seems like a reasonable thing to say, instead of, oh, it was so normal, blah blah blah, right? Like, I just wish that our language matched what the truth about the situations is.
I could see that.
I'm surprised
do question.
So many people have liked these, by the way. So many people are a bit anti-Pascal here. I didn't know. I got an article just this morning that was like, Pedro Pascal is the daddy we need, and it was that's the.
I think you got two elements, right? You have real people who don't like Pedro Pascal, and then you have the media who are like, we've decided this is going to be our new, like, he's the new Brad Pitt. We're going to push him as this is what masculinity and male image should be, which is a almost gay, super gropey, like, it's just a weird, like, I'm so soft and I get scared when I'm in front of people. Oh wait, well, there's another one. Hold on, there's another one. It has to be here somewhere. This one, there it is. Pedro Pascal experiencing anxiety.
Oh my god!
That's why I say it made me laugh so hard. He's just because it's. I mean, I think a lot of people absolutely recognize that he is bullshit, right? Like I think a lot of people watch him and they're like, "Oh no, this is bullshit." What are you?
I hope so. You can just see the descent.
I mean, I think at first he hit well enough, or it was like. He wasn't full-blown whatever he is now enough that it worked for him, but I do think now it's just too much. Like, you just see him, and it's always... Every interview is him just, no way, girl! And... I mean, it's just like, it's weird. He's on the red carpet, like, it's just like, come on. Like, nobody needs to... He's a grown man, like...
And she's doing it back.
Yeah, it's weird.
I know what's going to happen. The minute the husband says, "Hey, I really don't like you doing that," he's the villain.
He's the villain.
He's the bad guy, right? Like, he's insecure and he's not a man, and it's all bullshit.
Well, if I was a man, I would make the same point this guy did. It's like, okay, babe, so you think you need to do this to help Pedro Pascal get over his social anxiety? Why does he not get this from any of his male co-actors or his male his male co-stars, right?
Yeah.
Like, why is it only the females that he's always getting to, like, hold their hands and putting his hands around their waist and getting them to massage his neck and whatever? There's something there, right? Like, there is something there. Brody, you have any opinion?
I don't like any.
You're going to notice a cut here because there was a section of what we talked about where it seemed like, after me watching this over, like I was saying, that I enjoyed someone dying, which was not the case. I was saying I enjoyed when someone like learns a lesson, or their when their delusions get kind of like exposed by reality. But since the whole section kind of got started with me saying I love these types of things, it kind of seemed like I was saying I enjoyed when someone died. And that, so I decided to cut that section out, and more or less, I left enough in that you can kind of piece together what happened. Like if you're actually watching and paying attention, you can tell what we talked about. But it was the way in which I introduced the section that was problematic. I unintentionally worded things in a way that did not come across correctly. So I decided to cut it, and so you will notice a break here, and but that's all that's happened. I'm not doing, usually I try not to edit much, but I decided probably for my own sake, best idea would be to just go ahead and cut that out. Always, I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe you don't see it as much as I do, but I always see these like reports that like, oh, they went over there and they just went missing, that never came back. They went over for a hike to prove how they were going to hike across Afghanistan to show how, accepting of the women without burqas they are, and it doesn't go the way they it's like, I feel at some point in time, I don't know, like, do you just not learn from other people's mistakes, or like that's I guess that's what I'm wondering. It's like, it's not like this is the first time someone's done something like this. Can't you just kind of look at history and be like, maybe that's not a great idea?
I mean, all the way to the beginning of the Americas, you got the Roanoke colony just disappeared.
That's an interesting direction. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people think they like just kind of, they were small, and so they just meshed with one of the Indian colonies in the area, and they just kind of like over the years they melded, and you couldn't tell, you couldn't tell the difference.
What was it they carved onto a tree? Wasn't it like Krakatoa or something? What does that even mean?
Nobody knows. It's weird. I mean,
back to what we were talking about. There's an entire plot of one of the Rambo movies was white people going into third countries thinking they were going to, make this big difference.
Fix a problem that's been there for 2,000, 3,000 years.
Yeah, and they get, Rambo happens.
Yeah.
Lots of bloodshed.
I mean, I do think there's a bit of that. It's like people don't, it's like they want to push their delusion on an entire like culture and society. And it's like, that's not how things work. But I mean, I guess that's why sometimes I get some level of pleasure out of it, because I think it's like people just, I know before they ended, they had to deal with reality. They had to be like, oh, I was a delusional idiot. I mean, at least they learned their lesson. May not have been for much time.
And to what end if they then, like...
They can tell Jesus, they're like, hey, my bad, I was an idiot. Sorry. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's not, you're right. Even if they learn the lesson, I don't know. Here's the thing. There's people who don't learn their lesson. Like, there's people who do this and they'll get like raped and stuff, and they come back and they're like, but I don't want to blame them, right? And you're like,
well, it's not their fault.
Kind of is.
Well,
like it is. Kind of is. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I think where I see this a lot is the people who are leaving California and going to Texas, and the people who are leaving New York to come to Florida, who don't like it where they're at, but then want to bring all the conditions that they didn't like there down to wherever they're going, because they don't realize that those created the problems that they didn't like.
Well, that's the argument with a lot of the immigrants, right? Like the people they were doing it out in L.A., right? They were like chanting with their Mexican flags, but then we're like, oh, well, then you should want to get sent back. And they're like, no, we don't want to go. And it's like, well, then why were you saying how great it? Like, you came here because that place was shit, and then you came here and you started praising it, but it was just, why aren't you there if it was so great? It's like, don't turn this into I do think there's a thing where people just generally don't process what caused the problem.
I think that people generally strive for identity and to know who they are, and when they struggle, they can misplace that. And then when you're trying to break them out of their identity, like with some others, that's really hard to do. So I think it creates these really hard-rooted ideas that are really hard to get rid of when it's like identity focused. Because I bet most of them are like, this, I am from there. I am, that is an important part of who I am.
It's fine, but it's like, but you're also from here now. It's like when you go somewhere.
That's where the confusion is, right? Like,
you also need to integrate into our culture. Do things the way that the Americans do.
Yeah, it's like you don't have to give up on everything.
You can do your own thing, but there's like a limit. Like you hear about all the people in Ohio eating all the geese and the dogs and the cats. Like, we don't do that here. I understand you had to do that where you came from. Even if that's all fake news bullshit, it still is an example. Like, you're here now.
At least one person really did get arrested for doing it. So at least one person, it may not have been all of them, but at least one of them was.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I'm not tagging it to a whole group of people, but like,
I mean, no, but you're not wrong. There are areas where
you're not wrong.
I mean, you see it in London, right? There's like entire neighborhoods now. It's literally like, if you went over to the Middle East, like they don't even allow like the police into their areas. It's their laws. Yeah. It's from their old whatever. So it's like. They're just
moving in, setting up shop, taking over.
Yep.
And people should be against that. I'm just saying. You ever hear of a kingdom that was like, no, just come on in? The countries fail every time.
Well, yeah, I mean,
they do.
A lot of people say that's what happened to the Roman Empire, right? They got too big, and they allowed too many like groups to come in, but they didn't have to. They didn't have to like adapt to the Roman system and culture. They let them keep and then that's what eventually caused it to fall apart. But yeah, I just think it's a lot. I don't understand people who are that illogical. That they escaped something and then they come here because it's like, well, the reason this was better was because there's a different system in place, and they don't.
It's got to be a defense mechanism in their brain that like prohibits that's why I go to identity. That's all I can think of where that defense mechanism would come in. What other thing could there be that would have such defense? There could be other stuff. I just don't know what it is.
An inability to shift. They don't have a core sense of self. Their sense of self is tied to, their previous country or culture or whatever, and that's all they have. I could see that.
Yeah. A lot of it could be too. I would say people just they don't understand because they've never had access to free water, never had access to McDonald's, and they couldn't just go to a grocery store. So they think, well, if I'm going to feed my family, I'm going to have to go kill an animal. And so a lot of it is they just don't have that experience going in. Like, oh well, now I don't have to kill my food; I can go buy it.
Do you think that's a part of what's good about the legal immigration process? Is it does take a couple years, and it does take it like gives you enough time to process the shift, and that it's like, hey, you're coming into a new country, a new culture. It instead of just being instant, you don't have that mental like, oh, I get it now. This took years to process. I am doing something different now. It's like just instantly you're over, and then you don't have that ability, that time to process. Oh, I'm somewhere new now, or this is going to be different. I wonder if that's a good element of it, because I do know part of what takes long is they do background checks, right? Like they do to make sure you're not on a terrorist list. That's why it's good for legal immigration, because it catches the bad guys. I mean, not all the time, but more often than just not even checking. And that's why it takes a little while.
Immigration. I'm all for it. Do it the right way. Do it the legal way.
1,000%. But
this country was built on immigration, and people say that all the time in defense of all these illegals coming across and blah blah blah, whatever political you want to talk about. But I'm not against immigration. I'm all for it.
I don't think hardly any. But that's most people are not just outright against legal immigration. I mean, I do think there is a point where it's like we have a limit for a reason, because there's only so much new people a society or a country can take in, and then put into a society and have it run smoothly. You have to like kind of siphon it a little bit. You can't just like flood, or else it's no longer what it was. The society is no longer what it was before the influx. If it's too much,
it's like introducing fish to a fish tank, right? There's like a period where you got to let them just float there in the water in their own thing and let them adjust, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise everything gets messed up. They get shocked, all the other fish get shocked.
Yeah, say that applies across nature in a lot of different ways. Because if I were to go buy new chickens, I'd have to keep them isolated from my herd or my flock until they got used to each other. And so I think there's a natural process of learning a new.
Well, usually, cats and dogs, right? You have to do the same thing. Like if you introduce a new cat or a dog to a household that's already got them, it takes a few days or a few weeks for them to get comfortable to where they're not, at each other or just scared of each other. It's just,
it's a natural process of integration.
All right, let's see what the next one is.
She needs to go to prison.
Yeah.
I read that while I was down there.
This girl is a psycho.
Psycho.
Well, you can tell because she has that fat ass over there on the right. That's
telling you.
No,
you can tell she's too bad to be like a normal human being,
Yeah.
Something wrong.
Just that smile, But it is. I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to think how many people would be this crazy for an ex that you would poison their entire family to try to teach them a lesson to leave. You leave me, I'll poison, including your children, your young children. That's just like
you didn't think the kids were going to eat the candy?
Right.
What's wrong with you?
It's either a dangerous level of stupidity or a dangerous level of true evil,
Yeah. I think with some of these people, it is like they're psycho, whatever. It doesn't work. Like they are, because there are people who are born with they can't empathize and they are just, so self-centered. They just don't, it's all about how what they get out of stuff, and they can't process other people.
And our culture does a great job of not fixing that at all, just letting that go.
No, I agree. I know what I was going to say. Okay, so I don't really, RIP Hulk Hogan, whatever. But it was this thing where people go, rest in peace, Hulk. What the fuck is going on? And it was because multiple people who are kind of famous died in a week.
Yeah.
And I see a lot of people being like, there's something going on. It's like, no, people die in the same. That's just part, I looked it up with Evil the other night. We weren't streaming or anything, but I looked it up it's like 8,700 and something people die a day in the U.S., right? That means it was like 50, 60K a week die. That's not that crazy that three of those 50,000, yes, 3 or 4 of happen to be famous. I mean, it's just because we see this happen every couple years, right? Like I think this happened a couple years ago where there was like a week or two that a lot of people died that were famous, and they're like, oh, what is it? Is it the aliens? And what? It's like, no, it's just that we have 3 million people die a year in the U.S., and it just happens to be some of those were famous and they died in a week. It's, we live and we die. I don't know. I find it interesting when everybody, because somebody was making this comment on a different post, but they're talking about how social media has made it to where every single thing that happens has to be dramatic. It has to be, this is the worst thing that it's ever had, or this is, what does it say about society? It's like, some stuff just happens, man. It's just, not everything is a crazy news story that we all need to freak out about every day. It's like, I don't know. And that's what this made me think of. It's like some guy was like, what's happening? Like we all are supposed to freak out over this. And it's like, it's sad, but I don't, peace to him and Malcolm Jamal Warner, and who's Ozzy Osbourne, right? Those are the 3 that I actually really clicked with.
Yeah, that's what I heard about.
And then there was some other musician that Ken's knew that I had no idea who it was, and some lady that I still, anyway, it was, those are the big ones for me. And I was like, I don't know.
Do you think some celebrities fake their own deaths to get out of the limelight, though?
No.
What percentage do you think do?
Fake
a percentage? I have no idea. I was just posting a question.
I mean, maybe if you were like Michael Jackson or Elvis, if you were extreme, right? Like you are. It's impossible to ever have a moment to yourself. Yes, if you go to Japan, the entire country knows who you are, and they will freak out. If you go to Afghanistan, even like as disconnected from Western cultures they are, they will know who you are, and they will. It's like you can't have a moment of peace to yourself ever. I could maybe see someone at that level trying something like that, just to like, I've had it. I'm done with, people, tabloids. I'm done with. Lawsuits that happen every month that somebody you knew that I've never even met is suing me for sexual assault. I can see someone like that being like, I am done with this. I'm going to go put some money in a bank somewhere under a different name and go disappear. Maybe, but I don't think your average celeb is. Oh, that's thunder, isn't it? Wow, that's a good. Your mic is. I picked up the thunder on that. I heard the thunder.
Yeah, it was loud.
Lightning and the thunder. But yeah, that's an interesting thought. But that's what I would say. I would say most people like. Okay, hold on. Let's. Here's another. This will get me going. Okay. This is a guy. Just read the post and tell me what you think of it. 10-year-old kid knocked on my door. Offered to mow my lawn for $20. I love encouraging young entrepreneurs, so I hired him to mow all 10 houses on my block. I paid him $200. Oh, well, it happened. He called it. Yeah, I called it. I knew it was. Everybody here is. I am a prophet.
That's it.
Preach
and
Adonis.
low on a pale horse.
Okay, so now I'm gonna click this to make it bigger. I'll finish reading my thing. So I paid him $200, and he was grinning ear to ear. Right, so he hired him to do. Then I charged each neighbor $125 for premium lawn care service. I made. Sorry, I had to do some tech stuff there. I made basically $1,000 profit by arbitraging labor. Welcome to capitalism, kid. Okay.
All right, what do we think of that?
That's what I was going to ask you. I've got a thing I'll say about this, but go ahead. I want to ask you guys.
I hate it. That's my position.
Same.
I cannot stand it. I abhor it. I find it vile, despicable, and against the human spirit. Next.
Evil? You jumped in, so now you have to say something.
No, this is what unions are. No, not exactly. This is like the employment agencies. That is almost verbatim.
A little bit, yeah.
What happens?
Yeah. Except they don't make as big. Like they make a profit, but it's not like.
No, it's
500%.
No. It's closer to probably about 30-35%.
Okay.
That they actually make off of.
Yeah. So here's my take. I think it's bullshit and never happened. I think this is complete.
I think you're probably right.
He's making this up to build his I'm a big tough financier. Oh, I'm a rich guy. This is how the rich people do things. Like people love to build these online personas, and I hate them. I hate I'm the tough rich guy. Fuck you. I take all the money. I tell you, that's what you got to do to make it in this world. To be a millionaire like me, you got to walk over people. You got to ignore your wife and tell your kids they can appreciate the money because the money's automatic. Like, I hate those type of content creators. Despise them. And I think that's what this guy is trying to do, is he's trying to be the, tough guy, capitalist pig. Oh, aren't I so manly? Aren't my balls big?
Right.
And I just
look at my bank account. I can buy your house with this watch.
That's why I'm right about everything. Yeah, and I hate it. Okay. So I have a friend. I will leave his name into the ether.
It's me.
It's not you. But he loves those types of guys. And he follows them and he listens to them. And I'm guessing most of you in this call could probably, if you took time, figure out who I'm talking about. But he is a big fan of all these
He's not alone.
No. I mean, that's why they have.
People are into that.
Yes, that's why they have a huge. They make. That's why I was like, I wonder how much of their money. I know they made their initial wealth off of something, but it is clear that what they now do for money, because they put so much time into it, and it's impossible to put that much time into something without. You know what? I'm gonna just let me just there. Sorry, his hands cupping their breasts was at the top of the thing, so I figured I'd move that down a bit. But they're like, oh, and you can be rich. Like they always have a book or a seminar, or they have something that they're selling, right? It's not.
Yeah.
They never actually tell you the whole story about how they how to make wealth, or I'll tell you how to make wealth, and it's always something that is not actually replicatable for most people. And it's like that guy that you showed us, Placebo, the dude that he always puts up videos. I wake up at 3:30 in the morning and I drink protein shakes and eggs, and then I work out for an hour, and then I run for another hour, and then I have a hostile takeover over use $1 billion, then I eat breakfast. It's like, okay, whatever, man. I can't stand. And so anyway, my first initial thought because below it is like people having the discussion of whether or not this is a good principle to how to act. My whole thing was like, this guy's just lying. He's flat out lying. And I think there's a lot of them that that's all they are. They are.
I would agree.
I
think there's a lot of people out there that are just trying to like build a brand that they can sell, that they can work off of. I find that vile and despicable too, and I'm inclined to agree with you that I suspect if I was to have to put money on it, I'd call this fake. I agree with you. What if it wasn't fake? What if it did happen? Do you think that it is good or bad?
No, it's still
child
shit.
labor is legal.
Yeah, I mean, it's still shit. I mean, he's like, I paid him $200. I mean, that's just, you're taking advantage of
ripping them off.
Also, who the hell is paying $125 for premium lawn care, and it's some 10-year-old skinny kid, right?
And what I hate most, to be honest, is the welcome to capitalism, because this is the worst part of it.
No, this is crony capitalism. This is the
bad capitalism.
Yeah, this is abuse. This is abuse of capitalism. This isn't how it's supposed to work. Yes, I agree.
If other people adopt this system, we're going down the shithole.
Everybody abusing each other.
War.
Yes, I agree. No, I agree. It's not teaching a. Well, that's also why I thought it was fake, right? Because there's just no way. There's no way people are like, oh, somehow a kid showed up, started mowing my lawn, and now I owe a random guy in the neighborhood $125 for a 10-year-old to mow my lawn. Yeah, I think, like we have grown men mow our lawn, and it's like $40 a week. Yeah. like get the fuck out of here with that bullshit.
Only way I could see it working is if he was like on the HOA and he made some like last minute decree that was like, hey, we've hired a premium lawn care service, so we're going to require you to pay this amount of money. That I think could have happened. It could possibly make it true, but the odds of that I think are still like 1%, right? Like low. Because
I feel like if you were part of the HOA and then you saw his premium lawn care was this 10-year-old, because he said it was a skinny 10-year-old, right? Or no, just said a 10-year-old, didn't say skinny. But still, you'd be like, you could call it, because they can get rid of whoever's leading the HOA if enough people vote on it. If you go, listen, this clearly isn't $125 premium lawn care, I think he'd get kicked, like immediately.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I don't know. That was just kind of my thoughts on I saw that and I was like, that is such an interesting. It taps into multiple douchebaggeries. You know,
it does. Extreme douchebaggery.
I don't know.
Okay. So is entrepreneurship like actually like down in the past, I don't know, decade or something? I don't actually know the stats and stuff.
I don't know if it's down. I mean, it has to be down a little bit because they are making it harder and harder, right? Like there's more and more regulations. Like you hear all the famous stories about like kids lemonade stands getting accosted by city officials because they don't have a permit, right? And so you hear stuff like that and you're like, this is over government regulation.
Well, and honestly, whenever I first heard you talking about this and then about your friend, like two things immediately popped up to me. It's like, is one, yes, these type of like the real entrepreneurs can be romanticized on a way that creates like some kind of idol complex, and not necessarily complex, but like there are some healthy desires to go out and be a successful and I would say there is a power play to it, but a power-seeking individual. But the way that our upbringing has changed fundamentally since, I don't know, the 60s. Like we are very introverted people, we are very asocial people, and a lot of those key skills just aren't really there as much. And we don't have the kind of leaders that those people need to educate properly, I don't think. So we tend to just kind of grasp at whatever that we can, and whenever there's such a small pool of trash people like this, it creates a really bad kind of like negative feedback loop.
No, I agree. I think there's a bit of that.
I'm inclined to totally agree with that. Yeah, that sounds absolutely correct. The only thing I would add is I think the large amount of bailing out of large businesses also certainly diminishes the idea of others getting involved.
Right.
The only realm in which here in Florida I see any sort of entrepreneurship at all is apartment building, right? Tons of people just build fucking apartments because we got so many people coming in. And lawn service, lots of lawn service. I mean, you go into a neighborhood and you will see probably 10 to 12 different lawn services just of people that live there. That's the only way that they can do the entrepreneurship thing and be their own boss. It's the only realm in which they can go.
No, I agree.
So yeah, it seems like it's down. Well,
it's just so hard to because if you want to invest in, say, get a McDonald's, right, you have to have like hundreds of thousands of dollars to
buy a franchise. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
And so it's
then you have to build the building and hire the people, and it's a huge expense out of pocket. I only know I was a manager at Domino's for a couple of years, and we built a new store while I was there. So I got kind of like an inside, behind the scenes look at all of it, and it is crazy expensive. Once you do it, you're making money, and once you have that income there, you can start to expand. But that initial, I don't know how people do. The guy that owned the Domino, he owned 7 or 8, I think. So he was doing pretty good at that point, but he cashed in his 401k and sold a bunch of his stuff and rental properties he had just to get the capital up front to purchase just the franchise name. And then he had to get his LLC and get his insurance and everything like that. It's crazy amount of capital up front.
Yeah. And that's why I was like, I just don't know. It's really hard unless you're inventing something, right? Unless like PayPal, which was the first really widely available online, right? Like that's why it took off, was because it was kind of something new that everybody wanted. Unless you're doing something brand spanking new that just no one's thought of, or it's a new use of something, you're not going to construction's another one, right? Like I feel like construction's getting that way too. It used to be, there's a lot of little different construction companies, and everybody kind of could, you'd build a house, or you'd start out as a what they call a handyman, where you just go and you do repairs, or you'd build an extra room or something small, and then you could save your money, and then boom, you could become a big. Whoops, I'll punch my mic. You can become a bigger company, right? But I don't think that's the case. Now it's just like there's 8 huge construction companies, and they'll just take up all the business now. It's like it's. I do wonder how that will affect us long term. I mean, I know banks buying up all the personal rental property, but also just land. Yeah. It makes it hard because then they can jack up the prices, and
it's really fucked.
Monopolization.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Not supposed to be able to do it, but it's exactly what's happening. Nope. I mean, take it for instance, all the roads that get built around here, they're built by a company called ESS, Emery Sapp and Sons. He's just the construction guy that landed the big contracts, and then all the other companies around got absorbed by this ESS company. And you're exactly right. It's extremely hard to make it yourself anymore. Local entrepreneurship around here is trades. Like if somebody goes to school, like I have a good friend he's an HVAC technician. He started his own company. He's doing well. But unless you have a specific trade that's available around, got nothing. You're just not gonna make it.
I knew the fucking comment was there. I'm not an HVAC technician for everyone.
Well, all I had to do was point.
He can't fucking remember what I do, so he just thinks
I know what you do.
I'm an HVAC.
You work on like the
You can do it.
The filtration systems for like biological companies where they do like chemical or like diseases and stuff, and you check to make sure that it's working and that it's and you clean them out, right? Isn't that like kind of what you just make sure that they're.
I test the clean. It's close enough.
Okay.
I test how clean they are.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I know more or less what he do. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, not to kind of detract from that.
Yeah.
Whole thing,
No. I just couldn't help it.
I let him right into it. That's my bad.
No, it's fine.
No, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, hey, Brody.
And honestly, like I think that people aren't. So yes, there is a point to where you need the capital to start a business, and if you go to the right people and introduce a product, a plan, they would be willing to buy into that thing. And it's just the younger generation, we don't understand that.
Mm-hmm.
that whole concept is foreign to us. So it's just old people starting businesses, and whenever they die, it just goes out of business or gets
some
bought
bigger
up
company buys it. Yeah,
exactly. We don't have young entrepreneurs anymore. I think it doesn't do us credit to the whole system. And I realize there are some other economical factors that go into that as well. I mean, fewer younger people are buying houses, and fewer younger people are getting married. I like all kinds of things. It's just we actually have avenues for people to create, to build, and to make stuff. It's just we aren't used to doing it. So we don't have a lot of good examples except for the ones that just stay in the limelight and get all that attention. So yeah, we don't have a whole lot of people that can positively influence that sector. And whenever we do see someone that does it, we say, "Oh no, they're capitalists." Shame on them for borrowing money to give us a good product or a good idea, and then heaven forbid it actually work and stick around, and people get paid, people get more jobs, people have money to spend on their family and keep themselves afloat.
There's all sorts of different ways we can go about that. We could talk about minimum wage. We could go all sorts of directions off of that.
Yeah, I was already formulating a big plan about how it ties into what our education system does, higher education, and how part of it is, so higher education has started brainwashing people to hate capitalism, right? You love socialism, hate capitalism. So that also discourages young entrepreneurs, because as you go through it, also you get, told not, this is the bad thing, that you want money. And they don't also, that's how jobs exist, is somebody had to start a business and they had to take the risk. That's why the people who own the business make all the money while you do the work. It's because they took the initial risk. You didn't take a risk. You just showed up and now you're getting paid to do work. They actually put risk in. So that's why that process is kind of like lost. I see a lot of people who just think jobs exist and money just exists to be given to them. But I would also go, I wonder how much of that is because to get people to keep going to school, we had to convince them that was the way you get money, right? And so, and then we made it really easy. We made it super easy for everyone to go. So everyone expects, I've been through college, now give me money. And so there's not this, it's just from that point on, no one is even able to comprehend the idea of entrepreneur. Instead of me going and the way school's set up, you get the feeling of accomplishment. Oh, congratulations, you moved. Now you're a sophomore because you passed off. Oh, congratulations, now you're a junior. That's great. And you keep thinking all I have to do is just keep following these steps. It gives you this sense of there'll just always be the next thing. And in our minds, the next thing after college is I get money now. But that's not the case. The harsh reality is there's now a job market, and you're competing against the other 15 million people that just graduated. You know, it's like, and that's the problem with everybody being given college money and being basically shoved through college, is it devalues the degree up to every level. Like, a college education now is about what a high school education was back when I started college. It was like, oh, good, that'll get you into, you can work in a warehouse now because you have a high school. That's kind of what a college degree is now. It's like, oh, good, we know you're not completely stupid, maybe. Even that's starting to get questionable. But but then a bunch of other people then had to go and get masters. Well, now you have to, it's like it keeps pushing it up. I mean, I'm guessing in 20, 30 years, we're kind of already there. Who cares, right? Like, who cares that you have a PhD? Like, it's genuinely, I mean, I'm on here like, half of these people who have PhDs are just idiots. They're just dumb. You can tell, you read what they write and you're like, oh, they have no idea what they're talking about. They just followed some steps for a long time. So I don't know. I feel like that is also somehow the way we have situated higher education and made it fully available, and what we're teaching them, the whole system is like set up to create drones, like drone worker bees. Just like, oh, I will do. What's the next step? Tell me. And it's, instead of making people who think like, how can I make something that benefits other people, but then they give me money? Like it. But the reason I'm getting money is because I've actually created something of worth to society. I don't know. It's a weird scenario.
Well, and to kind of support that, like I remember looking at, there was a study done at, I think it was one of the Chicago's. I don't University of Chicago, but they like put weird titles after it that I don't know the cities in Chicago, but like they did a survey where they said, what are your 5 and 10 year plans after you get a degree? And it was a super majority. It was like 90 plus did not have a 5-year plan after college. They just said job. And it's like, well, what kind of job? Like, everyone has like an ideal job or whatever.
Right.
But there are so many people going through these foundations that don't actually have a plan. Yeah. Like there's it's just like, I'm here to get a piece of paper and then, here's my diploma, but guess what? You have to pay for this one. Or, well, I guess.
An exuberant amount, might we add. Prices of college are insane.
Yeah, and it's because, honestly, we're allowing too many of the wrong people in. Like, dumb people should be restricted a little bit, and we don't have that kind of like demand for excellence anymore. Hey, if there's a plan for those people to actually get something, we should have an avenue for them to go. And we don't really have technical colleges that are around as much anymore. Like, we don't have that many trade schools. We don't have that many trade related things because Americans frown upon them.
Well, that's what I was going to say. People make fun of like ITT Tech, right? They're like, oh, ITT Tech. It's like, you're probably more likely to get money going to a trade school. You will have a usable skill that people will be willing to pay you for than if you just go through college and get a liberal arts degree. It's.
I mean, could you even name me 10 trade schools?
Lynn Tech, Missouri State.
I only know the ones around me.
I was gonna say, there's a local, it's a junior college, but it's also like a tech college. Like they teach that kind of stuff too. And I'm trying to remember what, Northeast State. That's what the one around here is called. But the thing is, it's connected to the university because we have like.
I was about to say that's a state school, so that's
It's connected to East Tennessee State.
They'll have trades programs. Like I know there's, I think the largest fireman college in the nation is like right here in Fort Worth, but that's attached to a local county school. Like it's not trade school. It's just trades inside your local, which would be a local government thing, but it's still attached to government. Like it's not a hey, we're going to teach you how to be successful in this type of stuff. It's just under that whole umbrella. We're going to teach you how to be compliant and here's enough knowledge to get you by. Like, just to reinforce what you were saying, is like we're making a bunch of drones. Like, we don't have people going out looking for, this is my skill set, this is what I need to do. So
no, I mean, even me, right? Like, I'm out here with people, and the best thing that I could find that I actually am very satisfied with this, by the way. This is right now I'm working on kind of like a volunteer basis, but I'm listed as an employee now. Is with this remote warrior organization, and I'm getting in on the grant, but I have to work for free basically right now. Right. But I think they will, they have plans for getting grants and all kinds of, like, we've got discussion with the head of the VA. We've already had talk to him. He's on board. We've got some good stuff going that, but it's like, that was my best chance. And that was, how I met him it was Blackjack so I met him through streaming, and I met him, he was one of the first podcast guys. So I met him through streaming, through Ply, but it was like, that wasn't like, that was me getting lucky and finding somebody who valued and knew me and was like, yeah, I'll give you a shot. And they're doing something new, so they're also looking for, they don't have a lot of people lining up that have skills looking to work for free. But yeah, it's like, even with a PhD, there's people working at McDonald's with PhDs, I'm telling you. It's just it's like, it's tough. It's a tough
we've got a bunch
market.
Of graduates that work in the DC with me.
Mm-hmm.
I can think of 4 or 5, honestly, that and Walmart's got a cool program where they'll help you pay for school. And so a lot of that people, they use Walmart to pay for their school. And then next thing you know, well, it's been 4 years and I'm pretty comfortable with the money I'm making now. I didn't really need that.
Yeah. So my guess, technically, if they were really motivated, they could try to like move up through management and stuff, like, because I think that's what the idea is. It gives you the education so that then if they need new managers, they can hire from within people that know the system, and now you're educated enough that they don't mind moving you up. But a lot of people like it. I don't know. Like you said, they're already making good money. Why are they gonna stress about it? And a lot of people don't look
People get comfortable.
Let me ask you, do you think that is an element of it? Is that people, I guess this is where I was getting with the schooling thing, they have an idea that the next step will be shown to them or handed to them. Do you know what I mean? Like, instead of like, oh, I need to be motivated and proactively try to become a manager or try to get to the next, they just think, oh, once I get this, someone will find me because it's always been that way. Like, oh, I've got my undergrad. Now the school's sending you all kinds of stuff. You want to get your master's? Here's our master's. Let's walk you through it. They'll kiss your feet when you're, let's take time to go over your courses and what you'll get, and here's how you can get money from the government to pay for it. They'll just walk you through it until you actually have to start getting, instead of you paying them, you start getting paid. All of a sudden it's and so your mindset's just not in that like, I need to go make, it's kind of in the like, oh, it'll just come to me.
That's what I was thinking about this whole time, right? I think some people, unfortunately, like Kevin was saying, the drone mentality is the expectation that from above, divine intervention will come and save you and give you an idea of what to do. And I was thinking, like, no, it's kind of a skill of creativity to be able to like get your brain to come up with plans for like strategies, tactics for what you're gonna do. And I think that there's almost no teaching of that. I see like practically none. It's just here's data. In philosophy, we try to do a little bit of how to think, right? But like how to strategize and how to think tactically about the future, that's tough, right? That's tricky. And I think that's a skill that's dying because we're not teaching it at all. So yeah, I think a lot of these people are unfortunately mentally worker bees.
Yeah. we feel good about the topic. We were ready to go to the next one. I was going to cover a few of these because I did like that one. I'm just going to make the one statement about Zuby.
You're in charge.
Stay away from ideologies that teach you that one demographic is the root of all your problems. They're all toxic and full of losers and miserable souls. And I kind of agree with that. I think that is a big problem with what you see in America today is everybody has this mentality that there's one group that's like the problem of my life. And it's like most people in America, even if there are groups of people that, are negative, like you have a lot more control over how your life goes than you think you do. And this is kind of tying it into that. people just don't think that they are in a perpetual, like, childlike, someone take care of me, childlike, you know, the next process, it's not my fault, I'm not responsible, instead of being like, well, no, you actually can overcome difficulty. You know, you can't, even if there are people who get in your way, you can, you know, get over it. And I think he's right, because that he made his own way. This is a guy who became a rapper, but then he also actually kind of got into politics and all kinds of content creation. But anyway, he's made his way because he had the mentality of like, I don't care. I'm going to make this work. I'm going to figure it out. And I do think that's kind of part of that process. Like, I think too many people are busy figuring out how they're a victim and who's victimizing them, and not enough time figuring out like, how can I do the best I can in what can I control and what can I make better, and then do it from there.
I think it's just always true that someone is holding you back, like almost always, no matter what. So you like fucking deal with it and move on, right? Like there will always, and let's say you correctly identify the group or the people that are holding you back, and let's say you get rid of them. What's going to happen? You're going to discover that there are other people holding you back, right? It's never going to end, the cycle. So it is just get over it.
I mean, we made that comment about the Epstein files, right? Like, let's say they get rid of all the senators and all the financial barons across the globe, and they cause this economic crash across the globe, and people are starving to death. It'll be for nothing, because it's just going to get replaced. Those people will get replaced by other people who seek power. And I
wonder if to some degree, potentially, we've all decided that we're going to say we want this problem solved, we want them out of power, but really the secret hope is I want to be put in their place, right? I want to be one of the few.
Yes, I wonder about that.
I wonder if for some of these people, almost certainly for some, I guess I'm wondering what percentage of them, they actually their real goal is they want to replace. Yeah. Instead of
even in America, because we're like, oh, well, we can vote for the people, but we're the ones that voted these guys into power. Right? Like, there's always going to be someone who's going to be like, I'll give you ponies and cupcakes every day for the rest of your life. And then they get into power and they're banging kids, right? And they're not giving you anything. Like, there's always going to be politicians who know that they can lie and get put into a position of power, because that's how you get there. And there's going to be people who seek it. And it's almost like, I guess you should do what you can do, right? I do think it's good to be informed. I do think it's good to, like, try to... I mean, part of my complaint about American society now is we want to vote for president, and that's usually about it. And then there's a huge drop-off when you go, like, every 2 years they vote for other Senate members. There's a huge drop-off when people vote for that. And then there's a massive drop-off of people who will vote in primaries. So, like, you don't even choose who you're voting for. Like, Americans have if they actually used the system, they have a huge amount of power and influence over who represents them in government, but we're just lazy, or
100%.
And we just don't. We're like, oh, I have to vote twice a year. Oh God, what am I even going to do with my life? It's like, it's such a small thing to do, and yet we don't do it, and we get stuck with the leaders we have. That's why we have. I was like, so many people can't complain because we put them there, and the reason they're there is because we're too lazy. It's like, we're the result. I don't know.
I forget who it was that prophetically came out of the chamber, and someone asked, "Oh, what do we have? What do we have?" And he was like, "Well, we have a republic if you can keep it, right?"
Yeah.
And it's like, if you can keep it.
Nailed
It's
amazing how deep that was with a small little, a little addition to a term, and is like very.
And I don't think people realize that it could be the case that we don't get to keep it. You know, like it's not like we've done the work and now we get to keep it. Right? We haven't paid off the house yet.
Yeah, keeping it is an active process, a continuous process. We are still keeping it. It's like we still have to continue to do it. I think, as Thomas Jefferson also said, like, our system's great until people figure out that they can vote themselves money. I think he said something along those lines. It's like, until people realize that they can vote in their own favor, then the system's going to fall, because everybody's going to start being self-centered, and they'll be lied to, and the ball rolls down the hill. Yeah. I don't know. Go ahead. I know you want to say something, Brody. Come on. We talking government. We talking corruption. Come on, Brody.
who's to say that millions of people didn't vote for one person, but they're like, oh, well, this says this guy won. I mean, you see it in magic tricks all the time. They're like, oh, you guys, this is you're controlling the whole trick, but behind the scenes, like, I know what's going to happen. It's like when they throw like, so now you see me, okay? They're in the big crowd, big arena, and they're letting people choose ping pong balls, right? And they're like, okay, and they throw the ping pong ball, and they're like, oh, section 3, seat 14, blah, blah, blah. They chose that guy. They knew his seat number from the beginning.
Yeah.
And so everything's electronic now. Everything's digital. Who's to say that we're empowering ourselves as Americans and voting and being a part of the process and really doing our part? Bullshit anyway. 300,000 votes at 3 o'clock in the morning? I don't think so. It's all fake anyway.
I've always thought that a little bit. No, I don't think you're completely. It is definitely a possibility, right? Like I will 100% agree with you that the system, the way it's set up, is so easily manipulated because it could be you push a button and it doesn't. They just have it where the machine records it, however they're going to have it record, right? I mean, it's right. Not.
I mean, it's the whole premise of the Robin Williams movie when he ran for president. He was a comedian. He ran as a joke, and because his name came first in the alphabetical order, the system designated votes to him. I mean, they're putting it right in front of us in the movies. I could say it 1,000 times.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always reticent to completely use movies because they also put out stuff that's clearly, like. The system always works out the way the writer wants it to work out. I mean, it's kind of like or a fictitious book, right? Like a fantasy book. It always turns out. So the moral guy who stands on truth and justice could win, or they could have the guy who is vile could win. It's in the same scenario. It just depends on the writer, right? But I do also get what you're using it as an example, a thought experiment, if you will. I could see that process. Yeah, I mean. I don't know. I'm just in general. It's okay. So there's two lines of thought, right? It's when you get into big government. There's two lines of thought. It's either it's so big that it's hard for the regular small man to discover and figure out all the tricks that are being played behind the scenes, right? The second one is it's so big that it's really hard to keep a secret because you're having to have too many moving parts. And one of them is going to be somebody who's willing to spill the beans. So if you have to have 100 people or 1,000 people all in on the grift, the more people you have, the more chances it gets exposed, right? Or the more chances it falls apart. And so it's a tough battle between, size being the great, sheet that gets laid over everything that kind of just is kind of makes it impossible to see what's going on because it's so big that it's hard to figure out what's going on behind this. It's just so massive that regular people can't process how easily it could be manipulated versus it's so big that it's hard to keep a secret. So if you are manipulating something, the truth will leak at some point in time. I don't know. It's an interesting thought. I don't know. What do the other two think about this stuff? It's just me and Brody. Beyond?
I mean, I was on board until we started bringing in File Supreme references, and it sounds like we need Neo to wake us up from the government control.
There's a lot of people who think that too. Right? Life's a simulation. This is all a simulation. We're all actually floating in water or goop vials right now.
I'll have you know it's Vermin Supreme. I'll have you know.
Yes, Vermin Supreme.
Wasn't it like Vermin Love Supreme or something? It's something weird.
I thought it was just Vermin Supreme.
He promises a free pony to everyone.
Yes.
It's a politician. Or a fake politician, but yeah, it's like a crazy guy calling himself Vermin Supreme.
I don't even know if he's still alive or not.
It's weird about the guy that was running for mayor.
He's running for
I
president.
thought it was senator or something. Yeah, hold on. Vermin Supreme.
What the hell are we looking at?
This was a test when we did our test podcast.
I looked up somebody that I was talking about, which was Adrian. Oh, there we go. Okay, so this is Vermin Supreme.
Guy. That's right. He wears a boot in his head. I forgot about that. Oh,
Vermin Love Supreme.
Yep.
There you go.
Let's see. Whoops. Nope. I was clicking on the wrong one. News. I hate that every time I click over there, it messes. Boot-hatted satirist Vermin Supreme launches mock Senate bid. So he tried. I thought it was. He's trying to run for the Senate. That was his.
Well,
they say he's mocking it, but I don't.
Every time
he's always said
around, he does.
Okay.
Fake campaign.
I just thought he was crazy. Yeah. I just thought he was legit. Because do you remember the guy who was like, gas prices are too damn high?
Yeah, the rent is too damn high.
Rent. That's what it was. Rent is too damn high. There was a guy that ran for office, and that was his catchphrase.
Yep.
That's funny.
To kind of get us back on topic, though, like with the serious point, like how information's leaked is such a partisan game as well, because whenever someone does it, that hey, we wanted this information out, it's like it still falls like half the people want to throw them and half people want to celebrate them. Like where's Edward Snowden these days? Like, is he still alive? He's out in
Russia,
Siberia.
Russia. He's somewhere in Russia.
Yeah,
I mean, it is a weird. Yeah.
If we agree with it, I mean, it's still people still fall along their marching lines. So people can't just objectively sit back and say, okay, first of all, what are the problems with what you're releasing? 2, is what you're releasing factually correct? And 3, is there a deeper plan here? Are you releasing it like the dossier that Gabbard might have just put on permanent blast recently?
The most where everybody's getting that exposed as being everybody knew about it from the president down, and it was fake, and they all knew it was fake for years, and they still used it to garner warrants and I mean, just the whole court cases and all kinds of stuff off of, exactly. It's like, and if somebody does, let's say somebody does expose something really deep, it's like, whoa, I can't believe it. Most people, let's say, you have to question how unbiased news media is, right? So will they even publish if it was really something dangerous?
You gotta always have that question in your mind.
And then this guy goes on to Reddit because it's the only place he can put it out there. And then everybody's like, oh, this guy's a crackpot, right? Like, if you were to come out, I mean, I almost feel bad for some people if they did try to, sneak some really like shocking truth out, because I think a lot of people are like, nah. It's just hard, man. It's hard because there's so many crackpot theories that are just crackpot theories, and then there's so many crackpot theories that turn out to be true. And that's why it's so difficult, because there's no it's not like 100% of the time when someone comes up with a crazy ass conspiracy theory, it is always fake. Or it's 100% of the time it turns out to be true. It's like,
yeah. I mean, it's the same as what you said about government being too big and also being easily concealed, right? That we have evidence of both being the case, unfortunately. Yep. So it really is just, we're flipping a coin, So as such, I don't think we can use it as evidence for any position, right? I think we got to completely let that not be a factor in the way we think about it, because it could be either.
True. Well, I would say it is both. And that's the problem, right? That it is both. And
that's
so
better phrasing.
It's like, because sometimes it'd be good to act. It's just, it's frustrating. Yeah. We didn't solve that problem. The world still got that problem. Okay. But I want us to talk about the thing that Placebo said we're going to talk about, and I like it. So I want to, let me get rid of this. Just no more streaming there.
The homework I gave you?
Yes, the homework.
I am the teacher here. So
it's true. I think the one he wanted, it was the rules for a good life, right?
Yeah. What are the necessary and sufficient conditions, or what rules do you think one needs to follow to have a good life?
I'll go first.
Yeah, that's fine.
Lovely.
I think it's respect and honesty. Respect nature, respect the people around you, be honest with the people around you. I mean, if somebody challenges is like, oh, fuck you, I'm going to take your house, obviously defend yourself with your own honor and respect yourself enough to defend what's yours. So I think those two things are huge for me. I was raised to be respectful, and I was raised to not tell a lie and be honest. And for the most part, I do fail as a human being, but I do try to be honest, even sometimes to my own detriment. about things. Like, I'll be the first person to tell you if I screw up at work. I'm not going to try and pin it on somebody else. That's disgraceful. Don't do that. So be honest with each other, respect nature, just be good. You try to be good the majority of the time, and I think the world would be a better place.
So I think I agree with you.
What?
I think I know there's a. I know it's impressive. Right? I know. I'm trying to. Is it possible to live a good life without respect? Let's say someone like at your job or something just doesn't respect you at all. Totally just steals your shit, right? You have some good ideas, they just steal that shit, rise up the ranks with it, make tons of money, have kids, right? Pay their kids as much as they want to go do whatever they want. Do we think that person could have a good life? Because it's clear they lack the respect element, but they seem to have a lot of other things that most people would point at and go, "Oh, they have a good life."
That's a good question. So, yeah, like let's say Bezos for Amazon, right? Like a lot of people think he's trashy, and he kind of got to where he got by taking advantage of a lot of people. I mean, he obviously provided a service to everybody. I am the lord of the Amazon, right? I use Amazon like crazy. I buy toilet paper on Amazon. I buy keyboards on Amazon, and then maybe or maybe not return them. Anyway, but the point being is I use Amazon like crazy, right? But I hate the guy. I hate Bezos. But he has money, right? And he has his hot new girlfriend. And, you know, it's like, yeah. Here's my question. So I think if you don't have respect, I don't think it's magically turned off or on. I think you end up not having respect for pretty much everyone. In the end, you won't have respect for anyone in your wife, your children. And that will then eventually cause them to not have respect for you, and you'll never have that satisfaction. Like, it does eventually, some people like to call it karma, but it does eventually catch up to you. And
I think it leaves like a hollowness,
yeah,
right? Like a hollowness in oneself that for a good life, I think we would want that to be filled in, right?
Yes.
We want the full flourish instead of this tiny hole in the middle that's lacking.
And I think that's why a lot of people that are exceptionally wealthy and famous always come up with these causes that they are championing, right? And whether it's right or wrong, they will get all on it because that's where their sense of like, I have to have something that I am morally good at. It fills the hole. Yeah. And so that's why you always just see them get super, even on stuff that they clearly don't know what they're talking about. They read an article and one book on a topic, and now they're the world's foremost expert, and every time they're in public they talk about it because they need something to make them fill that hole of emptiness that makes them feel like they're a good person.
I think
go ahead. Yeah.
I think this is outside the realm of our conversation, but I think a lot of the charitable stuff you see, a lot of these rich and famous, powerful people do, I think it's for tax purposes. And some of them are good eggs, and they really do care about the organizations that they're funding and, finding, like Ashton Kutcher and his wife. They have a huge organization which helps to find abused and trafficked children. That's a good cause. Tim Tebow.
I don't know. I thought about the exact same thing whenever he's sitting there talking. So
I agree. I think some of them. This isn't a every single famous person in any cause is bad.
Right.
It's saying that a lot of them do jump on too, but like, how many of them jumped on the Black Lives Matter, and then we found out that BLM was just buying themselves mansions with the money, and it wasn't going to help any actual harmed or lower income people. The Clinton Foundation literally was a Ponzi scheme. It was like the money went in and then it paid.
The Susan B. Anthony thing as well. Wasn't that a big one? Where they found out a lot of the money wasn't going to the place?
One of the big, wasn't Red Cross, it wasn't, but one of the big, I can't remember, maybe it was United Way, or one of them got caught, like, most of the money that was, it was a few years back, so I don't know if we'll remember it. It was maybe a decade back or something, but, like, it was one of the big charitable organizations that everybody knew about, all on TV. They would have their things, and then you found out that, like, 4% of the money was actually going to anything charitable. Everything else was going to parties and people's, yachts and all kinds of. It's like, so it's hard. I get what you're saying. It's hard to, almost like it is with conspiracy theories, right? It's hard to. You really have to do your research on the charity, see their public postings, and see where the money's going, and know how it's being used. I mean, that's what we're doing, right? I was just talking about my remote warrior, right? We have an LLC, and we're in the process of getting our nonprofit 501c, our nonprofit put in, because we have different functions, right? And there's certain functions that we want to be strictly within nonprofit, but there are also certain things that, like, let's say we are getting paid to go and consult and like teach their organization how to be more aware and how to set people up who might have PSTD, post-traumatic stress disorder. Yes. And PTSD. So and those, yes, PTSD. Thank you. It's funny. I can say PTSD, but if I throw that C in front of there, all the other letters fall apart. But so when they're doing that, they're intentionally putting that under the LLC because there's something about the nonprofit that, like, you can't get paid for services rendered. There's a weird thing but they're wanting to be honest about it because they want to do these good things for people and for all these former veterans that have kind of slipped through the cracks because they don't show normal PTSD signs. But the way the nonprofit stuff is set up, they have to have two. We basically have to have two organizations. They work together. We all work for both of them, but you have to separate them so that the finances are open and honest, and people know where their money's going. It's actually an act of honesty, not the opposite. And it's because a lot of these other charities got caught doing non-charitable stuff and making all this money off of, in the wrong, and they were just getting tax breaks off of everything. So yeah, it's hard. It's hard to know what is charitable and what's not, right? Like, I mean,
yeah. But the person themselves doing the thing knows, and I think that's where the good life part comes in. Right?
Yes.
Yeah. You're gonna know if you're a fraud.
Yeah.
You're gonna have a little part of you that knows. I like both of those. I 2 thumbs up to Brody's. I think that both are necessary, but I don't think we're at sufficiency yet. I think those two alone don't make a good life, but I think they're a part of a good life.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I remember this is also part of what made me answer what you were saying earlier, Placebo, about when I talked about loyalty and when I kind of further separate, like what was it? Trustworthiness was a primary function of that, and I do think just having people in your life that you trust. It's not this, like, when I say trust, I think of having my back, but not because.
Which would necessitate like a community element.
Yes.
You need you couldn't live a good life by yourself in the woods then. Impossible to do so. We need the community element.
I would say yes. I mean, I don't know. I guess there's hermits. I have no idea.
There might be the one-off random person who can deal with it, right? But let's move this weird outlier aside.
Yes. Thank you. I would say most people need some level of, even if it's like what we're doing. Like, I need Evil and Placebo in my life so that I can talk to them and bounce ideas and complain. And
see you, Brody. Man, brutal.
Did I not say Brody?
Brody, I need you in my life. Brody, I need you.
I thought I said you. Okay, in my brain, I said you. I want you to understand.
I'm doing this podcast.
No, in my head, I said your name.
Brody, no, please, Brody.
I swear, in my head, I said your name first in my head. I was like, Brody, because I went Brody, Placebo, and then Evil. I guess I didn't say your name. I'm sorry. Hey, listen, I am 43. I get to start talking about how age is affecting my brain.
Oh man, here we go.
Yeah, I'm too old to be able to. No, I really did mean to say your name, bro. If I didn't, I apologize. I'm sorry, but I need you, and then also Ply. I mean, Ply still. I still love him to death. I still can feedback. Actually, I got done talking to Menzies the other night. That was a great talk. I mean, I have people. Sinister one time said something. We were having a conversation, and he said something that it was very meaningful and very profound. And so yes, I do think having people, even if it's online, just having somebody that you can emotionally and intellectually connect with and bounce ideas off. And I don't know how. I'm not a super extrovert, right? Like I'm not. I'm kind of introverted, but I need people, right? So that's why I don't think for most people you could live without having others that you can trust. Not just because I do think when people do this, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I do want to make that distinction. There's a lot of people who just seek other people, right? People who just want to be part of big groups and they have 50 friends, and it's like, but
yeah, fuck that.
Yeah, I've never been a part of like just having a bunch of people that you don't really know, can't trust.
Has the hollowness to it, right?
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
Of fraudulent, like oh, these are my friends. These are my friends. It's like
but they're fake
nothing
friends.
about it. Yeah, it's like
you don't know what true friendship.
Girl, you look stunning today, Queen. Thumbs up. It's like that's not that's fraudulent. That's gonna be hollow.
Yeah. No,
I was just going to say that even Adam had Eve. I think human beings, we're social creatures. So we depend on each other.
Yeah.
And so we're meant to have at least one person. But
yeah, we need somebody to. No, I agree. What was that?
So we have community, trust, respect, honor. We're doing great at identifying good virtues that do lead to a suitably good life.
Man, I went a complete fucking different direction out of this.
No,
good.
I'll tell you what. What they are saying is wildly different from what I did for this. So we could be on the same page, and they could be on the same page, and that's fine.
Even though he doesn't say my name, it's fine.
We love you, Brody. Evil and I love you. I can't speak for him. We are glad you're here.
I just use him for sex appeal to increase my viewership.
Absolutely, it's the manly beard. It's just.
It is a 3 beards.
You're lucky you don't have all this white in yours. So
that's a different kind
when I was married. I'll say that I did have gray hairs then. Go, Evil, go.
All right, so
while Preacher figures out his
the first direction I kind of went with this, and this was kind of my pre-plan, and I'll walk you through it, then I'll answer. So my first thing was like, okay, so who are the most satisfied people? And whenever I look at it, it really kept narrowing down to one particular group, and I don't want to turn this into like a religious thing, but people who actually actively walk their Christian lives, not just talk about it, not just preach it out. It's people who follow the commandments, who follow that. But I didn't want to go through a list of commandments for people who aren't necessarily. So I was like, okay, so what is it that these people do that unhappy people don't? And I think the two things that popped out to me, and one of them actually was because of an earlier topic here, is intentionality in the relationships that you make, in the decisions you make, and then the goals that you form or to drive your intentions. I think those two are kind of foundational, because if you don't really build
purpose,
that structure behind your decision making, behind the people you want to surround yourself with, not just like, okay, these good vibes or whatever. Like, I like this guy. I've been around him for since I was a little kid or something. It's got to be more foundational, though. You have to have a purpose for the people in your lives, and I for me, that is the structure that sets up the rest of it, so that you have a good direction. You're not leaving things to chance. You're setting goals for yourself. You're not just flying by the seat of your pants, and whatever happens, and you blame on whatever you can to explain your own lack of satisfaction to others. So I think that's really that was the direction I didn't want to get into like the feely vibes to it. I wanted to get into like I need to be intentional with this, and how do I intentionally set myself up for success? And that was what I came up with.
Isn't that like the idea behind a purpose-driven life? I think there's a book that's called that or something. But it's kind of like you need to have a purpose to your life. You can't just float.
You can't jellyfish your way.
Because that's where you get
fly.
Yeah, like having a drive, having something that you are on this earth to do. And yes, I fully agree with you. I think you said having intent. Yeah, that's great.
I completely agree with. I have a question that I wonder about. Not specific. Evil could answer it, but it's about this because I think you're right. The happiest people that I've known in my life are the ones who are true believers who are living that out. Right. I think that there is a third thing that they do that is not on my list. I hadn't thought of it, so this is brand new. But I think there's an element of service in what they do.
I was going to say, yeah, good job.
I think the element of service to others, to nature, to God's creation as a whole.
Doing something for someone else or something else. Yes.
Yes. I mean, I joke about it with the kids all the time. I heard it's a great quote from Simon Sinek. Everyone makes fun of the first step in Alcoholics Anonymous's 12-point program, right? Everyone's, you have to recognize there's a problem, right? Does anyone know the 12th step? It is the commitment to help another alcoholic, right? They know that the act of service is what will actually keep. They know if you master 11 out of 12 steps, but you cannot do the 12th, you will relapse. You will go back and you will drink again. But if you can do the 12th, it's going to be okay, right? You will not. And it's because someone else is relying on you, right? I think that matters so much. I learned it when I started teaching. I didn't know anything about what I learned in high school when I started teaching. And within a year, I learned like 5 different subjects because the kids were relying on me to know it, right? I think there's a huge service element to a good life.
I can't agree with you more.
I am in agreement.
I was actually when he was saying that, I legitimately thought like doing stuff for others, and then you just made the point like you terminologized it.
He said having a purpose for the people in your life, and I was thinking like service, that's absolutely a purpose for some of the people in my life, and it's a positive feedback cycle for everybody. Yeah, I get from it too.
No, I agree.
I love all of those. I don't know if we're at I think these are all necessary parts. I don't know if we're at a sufficient yet. But I think they're all necessary.
I concur.
Is anything missing at all, or are we good?
Also, I would say I think that what we just talked about is it's highly explanatory as to why we are seeing higher and higher rates of depression, higher rates of dissatisfaction with life in Western culture, because we have been teaching and building a more and more self-centered, a less selfless, but a more selfish society, and everything's about you. Oh, you're great. Everything should, and so that's why people are less and less happy, even though they're told, no, you're going to be happier. You just got to keep being selfish until you eventually reach some but it's not. It's the actual happiness is in the outwardness, the servitude.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny because whenever I started thinking about the commandments, I was like, okay, so a lot of people are not going to like this because a lot of like social movement right now, it kind of happens to be like, hey, don't bear false witness against your neighbor. Don't covet your neighbor's wife. Don't covet your neighbor's things. It's like there's a lot of fucking sentiment out there right now that says, hey, I want to take all that stuff. Thou shalt not steal. I want that. Like, you shall not commit adultery. Nah, porn actresses shouldn't be ashamed of anything that they do.
It's a situationship.
We should put billboards up in school zones for our OnlyFans.
We don't define it. We don't define what we are.
We don't define what we are. Yeah, and
we don't. Why limit yourself to a word?
And that's why I think people are more miserable in marriages and relations. Like that's why those are doing bad, because they go into them with a complete selfish focus and purpose. There's no like giving intent. Like you recognize you're going to receive, but you're also going into it with the mentality that you're going to give into that relationship as well. And and we were talking about love, and I think one of the biggest parts of love is servitude, right? Like your willingness to do something for someone else, even if it doesn't necessarily directly like manifest for you.
I think all the time about what an asshole I have been for a large part of my life.
Same.
And how my mother has never like stopped being, absolutely like my biggest fan.
Yep.
It's remarkable. It's really something.
It's one of those things that, man, you go, I don't know if I'm capable of parenthood, but I do think it just. I've seen what it does to like Nick Merckx, like his personality, the way he has changed a lot after parenthood. Yeah. Tim the Tatman, same thing. Like just watching people
because something is relying on you.
Exactly. There's a reliance, there's a servitude. It changes the way and so I do think it's good for people to, I know the modern thing is like you don't have to have kids and it's true, you don't have to. I mean, Paul never had, but he wrote most of the Bible and he never got married and had children. But I do think for most people I think he's an outlier. Most people that is a part of life that builds you up and makes your life better. So yeah, I do think
100% agree with all that.
Yeah, maybe we should ask our one parent.
My daughter gives me purpose every single day, and every single day I'm amazed by something that she's done.
Mm-hmm.
And I will 100% agree that parenthood in itself is a very rewarding, satisfying, perfect part of life that we get to experience. Because you're right, somebody's relying on you. Your daughter is relying upon you. And so, like, if I get fired and lose my job because I went off the handle and told somebody they could stick it, now my daughter doesn't have a bedroom. Like, there's things that you wouldn't even think about. It's like, wow, I have to step up. And unfortunately, a lot of people don't, but for me, it was never an option.
Such purpose, right? Like the other trivial, mundane stuff now has purpose because of your daughter, right? Like,
and man, society has so shit on family and the purpose and how valuable having children actually is, and having like someone and being a good parent. Like I just most modern media, not all, but a lot, has kind of torn down that. Right, that value to it, and mother, like, I mean, you see it. The strongest is in how we've framed motherhood. Right now, it's almost like it's sad, but they've almost framed it like you're a slave. Oh, women,
exactly
if you want to be your own person, don't get married, don't have children. That makes you a slave. It's the worst. It's the worst possible option for a. It's like, but nothing could be further from the truth. Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing watching a mother with her kids coming home. Obviously, it doesn't happen anymore, but coming home to your wife and kid is like your troubles just everything from the day. I was always very good about leaving work at work. Mm-hmm. I didn't bring fucking didn't get a job done. I got to work extra. As soon as I saw my wife and kid, it was just like, wow, I'm a lucky guy. Things just quit mattering. And like you said, social stigma is don't get married. Everybody wants a baby mama or a baby daddy, and
but they don't want the responsibility.
The core value of family and marriage is so eroded in this country, and it's horrible to see. Because it is a beautiful thing when it's done right.
I wonder if that's
father and mother.
I wonder if that's.
He told us what to do, and then as a society, everybody's just gone away from it. I'm a devout Christian. I will say that open and publicly.
I agree.
It keeps coming back.
And interestingly enough, my own self-satisfaction, like my own sense of happiness and well-being, has increased the closer I've gotten to God. Honestly.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm wondering how much, because there's much satisfaction, but there's also a lot of sacrifice, right? Like, it's not easy. You had to, when she was a baby, I'm sure you had to wake up. Oh, God, the baby's crying. Let me go. You had to clean diapers. You had to not eat when you need to eat or poop when you need to poop because baby needed you, right? Like, there's a lot of, and I wonder what that's why
up.
Yes,
the good parts. Right?
I'm agree. I wonder that's why society has kind of made that. They're trying to find, like, we always want the fat loss pill, right? Like, I mean, it's like it works, but for you to keep it off, you're going to have a better diet and to have some sort of a life that, like, we always want the fast, easy fix, the utopian
short-term game.
Yes,
you're absolutely right. They're playing a short-term game,
and so I wonder that's why that's been downplayed, because it does come with sacrifice. Like, if you want to be strong, you have to go to the gym and you have to burn, you have to sweat, and you have to breathe hard, and it's not particularly, you walk around your apartment like Placebo does for a day and just because your legs are sore. Like, that's part of building the muscle. Like, anytime you do anything good, writing a 240-page dissertation fucking sucks. Right? Because you don't just write it one time. You write it like 4 or 5 times because they go through it and they're like, oh, let's change all this. Do it again. And you do it again. And it's like there's a lot of like mental pain and fortitude that you have to, and it's like the best things in life come from struggle. I guess that's where I'm trying to get to. Like, you need struggle in life. That's where a lot of the value, and we're trying to figure out a way around it, and there's not.
Yeah.
Like, that's the point, is the struggle is part of the good part, actually.
That's how you build your strength as an individual.
Yeah.
Even if not just learning how to overcome other struggles, but the satisfaction that you get from actually accomplishing, like, hey, breaking through and finally I did it. Like,
I mean, yeah. Just to point out an example, like, when this place was finally put together, and it was like, okay, I can move in now. Like, I came and I grabbed a dining chair because there was nothing in here, and I set it right here, and I looked out the window and I was just like, I did it. So I agree 100%. You build strength through struggle. And so to be, people like, oh, this person's so strong. Well, that person's probably been through some things that's made them that way.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, I was going to take it a little shallower and just be like, football teams, right? Like, they have a 2-a-days in the summer heat, and people are throwing up on the sidelines because they're working so hard. But when it makes, when you have that success on game day, because think about it, you practice, you do the boring, hard work 6 days, and then you get 1 day where you actually get to go out there and shine and have a great time. And when you just got all your boys around you, it just like, this gets me all like, I'm going back and I am feeling it, man. I'm like, it's such an amazing feeling when you got everybody working towards the same goal. We've all struggled, and all that struggle pays off. And there's just like this love and like bonding between everybody who all was part of it. And we're just like celebrating. It gives you like chills. I'm getting like bumps just thinking about it. And but it's the struggle. The struggle made that so much better. If we all just showed up and it's like, oh, whatever.
Exactly.
It's not as good.
Band of brothers, man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not worth it if it's not got this. And I think you're right. I think society is trying to focus on how to get rid of every negative aspect of every little thing that exists. And it's the wrong metric. You got to choose the negatives that you're willing to deal with that are going to help you, right? Like, that's really the right thing to do. Getting this fucking thing, right? Like, I sat there for 6 hours with a needle all up in my arm, right?
Yeah.
Like
I'm with you. Yeah.
That's crazy. And yet, for the rest of my life, I have this beautiful piece of art that that speaks to me, right? Like, I have chosen the negative for the outcome that I wanted, right? And I think that's part of the trick. You can't get rid of the negatives. You got to choose the ones that you want to have in your life.
Yeah, and the negatives do, in fact, make the positives better. Even more positive.
Right. Absolutely.
Exactly. What a good podcast.
All right, Mr. Placebo, what is your opinion?
Oh yeah, we still haven't got yours. This is gonna be a long one. I don't care. It's good. I
got 10 that you're gonna disagree with.
Okay. I hate you, and I hate everything you say. There, I just go ahead.
Yeah, very good. First one you're definitely gonna disagree with. Never lie ever. That's my first rule.
I don't disagree with that at all.
Really?
So I told my daughter that 2 days ago.
I have not been able to hold myself to that standard, but the older I get, absolutely. Like, yes.
And I'm not saying that you need to do these perfectly, but striving for these is the method, right? So absolutely. But I get a ton. What about telling your kids about Santa? Right? Are you going to tell your kids and blah, blah, blah? Are you going to lie and preserve their childlike wonder? You have a duty to preserve their childlike wonder. And I agree with that statement, but I don't think that you need the Santa thing to do that. I do think never lie ever is the right system. Number 2, learn appropriate time and place, right? If you want to be immature and joke around, feel free in the right context, right? But if you're like in church and you're there like, slovenly and cursing, it's like that's an inappropriate time and place. Things are not going to go that well for you. We think, agree, disagree, learn appropriate time and place for just about everything.
No, I agree with that.
I would like to go back to the lie thing, though, because I do want to ask you something.
Shoot. Okay. Yeah, go for it.
Anne Frank, do you think the people who were housing Anne Frank should have turned her over to the Germans immediately? If the Germans came to the house and they were like... is that a moral just result?
The virtue ethicist in me tries to find a way out, right? I don't know hablo German.
Sir, you've lived here for 30 years. Yeah.
No hablo. I don't know. I don't have an answer to that one. I don't.
That's one he would have done in his younger years. All right, we forget about that and go for the.
You're right. It's a fantastic counter position. It's a fantastic counter argument that I simply don't have an answer for. And I believe in the statement "never lie ever." That's where I'm at, right?
That's fine.
I do not have a response.
Lying is a gateway drug. It really is, because once you get away with a little lie, you try to go a little bit bigger and get a little bit more out of it. And it is, if you're not caught on your lies, or if it's not for and I will say a supreme purpose, then the lies are self-serving and self-centered, and that's where you go with it.
Well, I agree, but you just made an if. You said if it's not for a supreme purpose.
Yeah. Oh no,
so that wouldn't be 100% like. That's my whole point. It's I agree. Lying for self-centered reasons, just because you don't want to feel awkward, you don't want to. But it's like, what if the?
So I do have something to say about this.
Okay.
Right? So Immanuel Kant, leading deontologist, the guy everyone goes to, right, has a famous example of a murderer at the door, right? Someone knocks on your door, says, so let's say you at your house, someone knocks on your door, your dad answers, they say, hey, is Gordon here? I want to kill him, right? Talking about you, right? The natural response is that your dad should say, no, he's not here, right? That seems obvious, right? Kant says, well, how are you to know that Gordon didn't hear the conversation and then jump out the back window? And by saying, no, he's not here, then the murderer goes around the side of the house and sees him, right? The outcome is not really up to you, so to say, would be his response. And so all you can really care about is your intention going into it. And that's his response. I don't know if I buy it, which is why I didn't want to use it.
Yeah.
That is
because I was going to say, I mean, the Anne Frank example, they knew they were locked up there for the whole time.
Right.
They weren't going to jump out the window, so they kind of knew. But
right.
No, you're right. I mean, yeah. You don't always know. His point is you don't always know what your actions, that you can't imagine all the possible consequences.
Right.
We're human. We just can't fathom them all. So you have to do the right thing. Yeah, because everybody uses that as an excuse too, right? Like, oh, I lied because this would happen, but you don't know that. You don't know that's how things would turn out. So, I mean, I guess mine is like, I just think never lie is...
Right. It's extreme.
It's an extreme, it's like, but if you give people wiggle room, what do most people do with wiggle room, right? They just abuse it and, excuse and use it when they shouldn't. Even if, in reality, there probably are some, I use Rahab, right? The scriptural version of the Rahab who lied about the Israeli spies to the people in Jericho. And so it's like...
It's a tricky topic. I think that the extreme answer that I've given is the one that will most effectively lead to a good lie.
I see what you're saying. That's That's how you should approach it. Yeah, I agree. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, number 3, build good judgment and then trust it. Right. If you don't know shit, you should trust others. If you've built good judgment about a topic, trust yourself, no matter what other people say. That's my position.
Is that semi-counter to the last Immanuel Kant? Because I do you ever know that your judgment, like, it's usually good, but how many times have we messed up and we don't know it? So it's like, I mean, I do agree. I usually trust my judgment. I mean, that's just, I've learned to, but I do go into situations going, I guess I always try to keep out the option that maybe I'm wrong. Does that make sense?
Here's my example for you. Okay. What if I was trying to tell Evil how to make a brisket? Right? Yes, that is. Thank you. That is the correct response. That is what if I was trying to tell Evil how to make. I have not cooked anything in months, okay? Mm-hmm. If I was trying to tell Evil, who makes brisket all the time, how to make brisket, he should laugh in my face because he has good judgment and I don't, right? If, Gordon Ramsay or something came by and told him how to make brisket, maybe, yes, take the advice, right? Weigh it against what you know, right?
Maybe.
But that's exactly this is exactly my point. Right?
Your judgment is also judging who's telling you what is also
absolutely.
Part of it. Okay.
It's not judgment just about one little. It's your total holistic.
Gotcha.
Judgment.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, that's fair. Go ahead.
All right, number 4.
Wait.
Yep. Sorry.
Kevin had his eyes in thinking mode. Thought he had a point.
I did actually have like a similar thought. Is like, don't let others label what you are, and I think that ties in a lot with like just believing in yourself, what you can, and realize your weaknesses. Like you need to know where you are deficient and where others can come in and build in that foundation for you. So
I'll cut in with number 4. Take feedback and reflect. So that's equivalent to know where you are weak, right? Yeah. I think very often the world gives you feedback, and a lot of people don't know it's feedback. You know, like what you do with the podcast. A lot of people just put shit up. Oh, why isn't it working? Put shit up. Why isn't it working? You instead were like, all right, I'll try something in the morning. I'll try something in the evening. I'll try this short over here. I'll try this, and I'll see generally what the pattern is, right? And
I put polls up in Discord, right? Like,
yeah,
I mean, it's only
a bunch of different strategies to see what works and see what doesn't, and realizing that that's the world giving you feedback. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of people just immediately, like as a defense mechanism, they reject it, right? Like, oh, the world just isn't ready for this podcast. They're just not ready. They don't get it. They don't get us, right? It's the natural defense mechanism.
But there's a lot of genius people who never, right, like artists and stuff, that their art was never recognized in their lifetime.
Yeah.
But it's like, so that's I guess now I just brought up a new question. Is it better that they stayed true to that, even though it wasn't accepted during their time, and then later was like, oh, wow, this guy's a genius? Was it better that they made the art so that it would last, or should they have adjusted so that it would have been more accepted and popular during that time?
Is the question in the good of everyone or the good for the person themselves, like the artist in this example?
I guess we would say the art, because we're saying living a good life, so it's an individual
I'm inclined to say they did the right thing in staying true to what they wanted. That's where my take is. Even though they didn't achieve the outwardly success, you'll notice none of my 10 have that outwardly success as a required element.
Okay.
And I don't think any of ours actually did either.
No,
so,
I approve of not abiding by society's
5.
rules.
I think you might like this. Take the stupid AirPods out is my number 5. I see all the time people in grocery stores, in the gym, just all the time walking through like on a date, right? You'll see a guy holding hands with a girl and he's got an AirPod in the other side. And it's like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Mm-hmm. Right? Like, you are wasting like the human connection of those around you. And no one's going to approach you at the gym and talk with you. No one's going to approach you like anywhere to have a conversation if they have to like signal that you need to take the AirPod out first, right? You're electing to not have human relationships. And I just think it's a bad system.
I need fat jams at the gym to get me pumped up to put that weight up. You know, you throwing 225 up 15 times. You got to have that metal music. Oh, I do. It gets me pumped.
No, you don't.
I do.
Then have them blast it through the gym.
Make the whole gym listen to my music.
I had to listen to Cannibal Carnival the other day at the gym. Okay, if I got to listen to Cannibal Carnival, then and some Miley Cyrus song where she's like, "I'm on the beach, I'll write my own name in the sand, I'm my own queen." That's what was played. If I got to listen to that for the sake of like being open to human connection, I think I'm living a better life than the person with the AirPods. That's what I'm saying. That's my position. Number 6, you might not get off of all social media.
Yeah.
I wouldn't include like YouTube or Discord because I suppose where I have issue, these are technically social medias, right? But the ease of access to being part of the system on YouTube and like what we do on Discord, where it's just our buddies, it's much harder to get the bad parts. Whereas something like Instagram, Snapchat, it's much easier to get all the bad shit immediately. It floods, right? Mm-hmm. So I get off of all social media. I think that's necessary for a good life. I don't think you can live a good life without getting off of social media.
It's funny because like whenever popular people do it, you know, like Aaron Rodgers, for example, he went to his dark room for fucking a week or 2 weeks or whatever, and like people gave him shit for it. It's like, let him get his head in a good spot to, you know, do what he needs to do, make the right decision that is good for him and his family and his new girlfriend or whatever the fuck it is.
So let me what about, see, I like that. I like taking breaks from it, but I also feel like now you're almost uninformed if you're not.
If that's your job to be informed,
do you think I'm uninformed?
Yes.
It's okay if you think I am.
Not on everything, but on some like political, like, so there's stuff I brought up to you that I thought everybody knew about, and you're like, oh, I've never heard of that.
Do you think those things are like, or do you think access to those things is necessary for a good life? Because I would say probably not.
I can't detect. Okay. We vote. Therefore, we need to be informed, and so it's somewhat but and then our vote does affect the way we experience life, right? Like politicians then make rules that impact how we live and whether or not we can do stuff according to our morals, or right. So it's like maybe not immediately, but maybe long term, it can. You know, you might vote for somebody that you didn't realize was a jerk, or you might not vote for somebody who was great and you just didn't even know there was an option. You know, it's like. And now I feel like that's the only way you can get information, or not only, but it is the primary way to get it. But so what do you think about curating it? Like, you only follow like a few news sources, like you're not following the junk profiles that just put out salacious nonsense.
Sure.
You only follow family members and like a few news sources that you personally trust. Everybody needs to trust find their own news source, I guess.
I wouldn't see any problem with that. I think you can live a good life and do that.
Okay.
I think that the amount of people that do that is
slim. Yes,
is it extreme to say zero? Is it too much?
I mean,
to say literally
because
zero?
I kind of agree with you in the long. Like, I think social media just has fucked up everybody's brains, especially with young people. I think it's also like I was. Before social media, here's the thing. Before social media actually became big, MySpace hit when I was in college. So I was mostly formed. And before Facebook, I was 24, but I think by the time I got on Facebook. So I was mostly formed. And so I wonder how much people who developed completely before it are able to kind of like push it off to the side. It doesn't quite affect them. I mean, I do think no matter what, you just read nonsense all day long, it's going to fuck with you. But I do wonder if, like, when you are young and developmental, having all these sources is extra detrimental. You know what I mean? Like, I wonder if, I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying to, but no, I guess, you know what? I'll agree. For the sake of argument, I do think if it was like society could have social media or not have social media, I would vote no social media.
Yeah.
I would also vote no social media.
Yeah. I think that it actually does serve a purpose, and that purpose is to look and see what stupid people and bad people are doing, and that is a large part of it is the people who are presenting it to others. But it's not necessarily a bad thing, I think, to be disconnected with current happenings.
Mm-hmm.
I think that a rational, good-minded person can hear about a topic and make up their own mind on what that is, with the caveat of, like, there has to be a purpose behind whatever they're using. It's a mechanism. It's not a gut.
Yeah, like
action reaction.
Yeah, so is using social media for the sake of being politically informed or industry informed the same as using social media to see what the latest hot chick's doing and what the greatest dance craze is and what is the popular clothing brand? You know, so everybody will like me. I wonder if those are two different.
I actually think they're similar. I think they're
okay.
It's far too similar of a detrimental pattern. It's just the focus is on different things, right? Like in one, the focus is on the gooner, like lust aspect, and like in the other, it's on, I don't know what, vice, but I suspect a vice.
I mean, there are people that use social media as a dating platform, like these days. Like this is just the 21st century. Like this is how things have evolved.
Right.
And
no one
to
asks
make it
for
conscious,
a number anymore. Everyone says, "Can I slide into your DMs?"
Well,
right.
Yes.
I've seen a lot of people argue that's why our relationships aren't working, because women now can go online and immediately get 100 guys who will give them attention, so they don't have to work through
They already have that in their back pocket. Like before you're ever even in the picture, that's an option to them. Like
that's the point. It's like they'll never be happy being in a, like they think they'll try to get into a relationship, but they've already experienced having a bunch of guys, and so when you show any kind of flaw, their brains go, oh, the grass will be greener. I get all this attention. Let me just go to any of these 100 guys, and maybe that'll be the perfect Prince Charming that has 0 flaws, no personality quirks. Well, and so there's always this, like when you didn't have that, you were kind of like the people you knew, or was the pool of people you had to choose from. You didn't have, I can meet a man from India who claims to be a billionaire, right? Like whatever. I mean, I'm just using an example, but.
Yeah.
So they were saying it does kind of play with people's brains, and especially the females, because they get way more attention online than men do, and it makes it harder for them to like choose to stay in a relationship and make it work. It just makes it much easier for them to imagine a better, like, okay, hold on, you know what? Hold on, share screen. This one. All right. This it comes right up into here we go. Woman says she wanted to get a divorce with the perfect husband because she can't be herself. Then immediately says she doesn't know who she is. I told basically she goes through this whole thing, and she was talking about how she just got bored with the relationship. She said, husband was great to me. He did all the things I wanted. He did nothing wrong. He is perfect. He's handsome. He's blah, blah, blah. I'm just bored and I don't know who I am. And then she goes onto social media to present this, because you can tell that's where she needs the influence, the attention from social media to justify this constant need that she has. And she's like, it's not fun anymore. And it's like, well, yeah, relationships do that. Like a real relationship is going to have moments that it's just not fun.
I would say she's misappropriately targeted the purpose of the people around her to build on what Evil said earlier, right? She's assumed that these social media people are the people who should give her validation for what she thinks and sort of instill how she should act.
That's my point.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
You're right. I think you're right.
And to make a bit of a counterpoint, like, so, and this is to something you brought up, like, so when there are important events or something, there are other avenues outside of social media that these get presented to our everyday lives. Like when you go to see a brand new movie or something, they're going to put those political campaign ads in there. And like, you don't want to see it necessarily, but they still find ways to get those important things out there. And to a smaller point, I mean, I'm sure someone completely shut off from the world will not get to experience those kinds of things, but most of us still have to interact with others on some certain level, so things will pass through the grapevine, if you will. So if you've run across someone who hasn't heard of the Ukrainian-Russian war, then they are literally living under a rock. But you can find people who don't have social media that say, hey, I still know what's going on. It's been going on for a few years. Like, hey, there are other ways to get that important stuff out there. I think social media is, unfortunately, with how they're built, you fall into your echo chamber. And
that happens in real life too, though. Most people don't have friends. Like, most conservatives don't have a lot of raging liberal friends, and vice versa, right? Like Hollywood, but not even in the real world experiences, they don't. Yeah. So I think the echo chamber, that's just a natural. You tend to be with people that you echo with and enjoy, and at least to some degree agree with.
To some degree, I would agree with that. I do think the echo chamber is much easier to build and far more widespread and worse on social media than in person.
Because that was the point I was going to bring. Do you not think that people hear more oppositional perspectives and different points of view by engaging on social media
Generally, no. I don't. I think I do, or when I did, right? Like, I'm a registered Republican that would get all of my sort of news from left-leaning sources, right?
Yeah.
I didn't listen to Fox News for anything. I never went there. I always went to the leftward-leaning sources. I don't think many people do that. I think by and large people just build the echo chamber and circle jerk.
Yeah. Or I would say where I get a lot of where I see it is from someone else talking about it. Like, oh, here's a clip of this person saying this thing, right? And so I do hear the opposition, but then it's in the context of someone else already like explaining it.
Exactly right.
Already,
it's immediately debunked for you in a way that you didn't even really have to engage with that opposition argument. Someone else did it for you and told you what to think. I don't know. Not that they're wrong. They might be right about what you should think about it, but it's not you going through the process, I suppose. I don't know.
Yeah. That's fair.
We good with 6?
6. Yep.
All right, last 4. 7, exercise. I don't think you can live a good life without exercise. I think you got to do it.
Sadly, I kind of agree. I mean, I personally have not had much exercise in the last, but I do, and I notice like physical things that become more difficult, and it is not as pleasant. Let's just put it that way.
And I'm not saying everyone needs to lift weights, or everyone needs to bike, or everyone needs to swim, or everyone needs to jog. Just pick something that you can get some exercise. Play pickleball. I don't fucking care. That works. Just something.
I do think
healthy body, healthy mind.
Yeah. I mean, gardening. Believe it or not, gardening. If you do it like by hand, good exercise. You will sweat, and that's. Yeah, you find something that physically moves your body and makes you use your muscles and sweat a bit. No, I agree. Like, it's something that I like. This is me being like, I need to do this more. I've been thinking this for months. I'm like, I gotta start.
It
my
would help
exercise
tremendously, I think, with your mental state. Yeah.
And that's the other thing.
Isn't
They've
it
proven
interesting
it
that that's what you care about? It's the mental state, right?
Yeah, and it does.
They did this great study.
Yeah.
It's an amazing study. They took 3 groups of high school girls, all of whom said they had 10 out of 10 depression, right? One group was the placebo group. They gave them nothing, and they asked after 3 months, all right, how depressed are you now? And they went from 10 to, guess what, 10, right? No change. The second group, they had them do meditation and mindfulness exercise. Okay. They went from 10 to, care to venture a guess?
9.5. No,
2. 6.
Really?
They went to 6.
That's a decent improvement.
No, that's what 2 thumbs up.
Yeah.
Do mindfulness, right? Exercise. The third group went from 10 down to 3.
I was about to say 3. Yeah.
3. So it's on here. It really has very little to do with the physical health aspect. It's really for mental health.
Well, if you think about when you exercise, you're kind of almost doing a little bit of meditation, right? Like you're not thinking about, your brain's not right. You have to concentrate on what you're doing, on the physical element. So it kind of gets you out of that. It gives you that headspace break.
My friend referenced, I think it was Alien or Predator in the gym. Like my cousin who goes with us was talking to me, and he was like, "Oh man, I'm tired." And I said, "I ain't got time to be tired," right? And he said, "Oh, that's a line from a movie. Oh, I ain't got time to bleed," right? Yeah. And it's like, but it's true. When you're exercising, you don't have time to think about your inadequacy or your stress about the job or any other. You literally just, I have to get this up, right? Yeah. Like it's just,
5 more, 4 more, 3 more. Yeah. Now that we're on this topic of meditation, I also would tie this back into what Kevin was saying earlier. I think this is also an element of religion, and specifically Christianity, that prayer comes into a big part, because that is also a kind of like a form of meditation, right? And it's gets you where you can process, but also it lets you put stuff. There's another power or another source that also has input, if you will. And I would say this for relationships too, right? That's why I think a lot of Christian relationships, if they're actually living by Christian dictates, do better, because you go, well, I think this, you think this. There's always a third party that has. So in other words, if the answer doesn't come out what you want, you're not as angry at the other person, right? Because it's not their fault. It's not them. There's a third part that you're right. Like you can focus your energy, like, and it's kind of hard to be mad at God. I mean, you can do it, but it's still, you're like, okay, Right. But it does help with conflict a lot too there, right? So I don't know. There's just an element that, like, I do think prayer and meditation, because it's one of the things the Bible even tells us to do.
I agree with that.
Be meditative with your prayer. Like,
yeah.
And
when I was younger and far more atheist than I am now, I thought, well, prayer is just you're thinking through the thing, and then when it works, you're like, oh, thank God. But really, like you thought through the thing, right? Or even just time passed, right? While you were there, time passed, and time pretty much solves all they're gonna go away in time, whatever the problem is. So I used to think that prayer and meditation were pretty much just thinking, right? Like you're just doing this.
And I do think some people use it that way, which I think is not everybody gets the same results. You know what I'm saying? I think if you actually use prayer the way it's intended, I would say, like, I was always taught to listen a lot in prayer too, right? Like, you're not just like thinking to God. You're not actively pushing out. Take some time to just almost try to like blank out. I think prayer for Christians and like actual like meditation, if you're doing it properly, can be somewhat similar. It's just instead of emptying yourself out and then letting the universe speak to you, you empty yourself out and you're letting God speak to you, right? Like that's what it's supposed to be. But I do think there is something about shutting yourself up, and it's a good practice, because then you can use that in real life too, right? When you're in a stressful situation, just knowing how to shut yourself up for a little bit, and kind of like it's useful for multiple purposes. But I guess that's why I think it's such I do think I would like to add that onto my list, is like a prayerful life is a portion that would lead to ultimate satisfaction and happiness. Sorry, we were just kind of on the topic, so I wanted to add one onto my. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Last three, I promise. I'm trying to get through these.
No, you're good. You're good. They're good. They're
8.
Interesting.
Make some risky decisions. I don't think you can live a good life without ever having made risky decisions. This is when I tell my students this is the one they typically go, what the hell are you talking about? They only ask the girl to prom if they know she'll say yes. And I tell them, that means you're pathetic. And they're like, no, I'm not. No, yes, you are.
Good point.
Thomas Edison didn't just make one light bulb. Like, he had to go through a process. Everyone does. It's that forging of your character that happens through all of your failures.
Yep. It's also something to realize that you can take the risk and have it not work out, and guess what? You're fine. You're okay. Mm-hmm. You're still alive.
I remember someone saying this. Oh, go ahead, Brady. No.
I was just going to be stupid. Unless the risk is taking my mortgage and putting it on red in Vegas, and I'm going to win. Like,
yes, you're 100% right. I do try. What I tell the kids and what I believe in is don't make a decision you can't come back from. Right? Like, you can come back from a bad relationship. You can't come back from like smacking her around. You know, like that's just, you can't come back from that. You can come back from having unprotected sex, but you can't come back from a baby, right? Like, don't make a risky decision that you can't come back from.
No, I
agree.
You mean you're gonna force her to have it? Just fucking not getting into that.
Yikes.
Next podcast. No, I'm just kidding.
All right, number 9. If you're the smartest person in the room, find a different room.
I highly agree with that.
I like that one.
That's why I hang out with you guys. I'm not this.
That's why I hang out with it. No, no, it is absolutely a reason why I hang out. Yeah, I 100%. Here's what people don't understand. This shit that we're doing right now, we also do periodically throughout the week. This is why I'm always in my Discord just sitting, because if evil or placebo, a lot of times we'll just naturally have something will pop up and we will have a conversation, and I get smart people giving me ideas and different perspectives. I could not agree with this more. Love it. Big check mark from me.
All right, last one. Build an internal locus of control.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you guys know what that is. If you take a test and you think, oh, that test was bullshit, the teacher didn't prepare me at all, that's an external locus of control, right? Like, or I got so unlucky, right? Or if you think that you had responsibility for the outcome, that's an internal locus of. So I think you should always have internal locus.
Think about how
control.
You can control it.
Yeah.
See, my brain first heard locust, so I was like, giant ass cricket. Cricket.
Don't feel bad, Evil. Don't feel bad.
Isn't there also one of those that does that for like how you see yourself? There's like an internal locus where you like, you know your value and you know your, because I use this with a lot of streamers that I think struggle with this, and they need other people to laugh or whatever to make them feel like they have purpose or like they're funny or whatever, they don't feel good about themselves unless other people feel good about themselves or about them. And I'm a big fan of, like, you should be happy with who you are, regardless if you have a bunch of people that agree with it. I mean, you should always have some friends that, you know, are down, but when it comes to, like, massive people, you're not always looking like, okay, without using names, somebody I know has to, like, go out to eat. Like, he has to be around people when he eats if he goes out, because he needs people to see him eat, and he feels that, you know, and it makes him feel better. Where I'm almost opposite. Like, I'd prefer to just, like, if I can eat at home, I'd rather eat at home. That way I don't have to deal with whatever, crying babies, dirty toilet, you name it. But I do think being able to be comfortable in your own skin and be happy with you is very valuable to, like, life. Yeah. And then once you're happy with yourself, you can function with other people. Then you can be who you are and find the right people to feel around you, right? Because then you'll.
I think that's called positive or negative self-image, but I could be wrong. I think that's the psychology term.
There's another internal locus of something, but yeah, go ahead.
Avoid comparing yourself to others. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor. I'm sorry. It's the last one.
Weird. It's weird how all of them just apply. It's weird.
And how we just, as a broken and depressed society, just keep getting it wrong, and we want to blame. Never mind. Shouldn't go there.
No, it's true. It's like we want to be broken and depressed.
It really is.
I could never try to fix it with that system. I could never.
I mean, it's so sad how it's almost a competition to be the most broken and the most depressed. And be like, oh, poor pity me. And then you get to start a GoFundMe. And so, you know,
well, that's what there's people on this podcast have heard me talk about victimhood Olympics, because I feel like that's basically modern Western society.
Also known as America's Got Talent.
Yeah. But I mean, just in general, right? Like, or everybody's like, oh, you're not as downtrodden as I am. You have to fight, like, different racial groups have to fight with who's the most downtrodden, or, right? Oh, you're only gay, well, I'm trans. Well, then I'm a bunny. You know, like, you have to just keep escalating, because it's like an attempt to be like, how can I find the most,
I'm telling you, man, you got to come out on stage with, like, 2 arms chopped up, and you're playing a guitar with your tongue, and that's the only way you got a shot, buddy.
Yeah.
Key and Peele did it first. They had a really funny skit about America's Got Talent. This is my blind, deaf, adopted, fire-burned survivor child. And they're like, Daniel.
I was born a mother of 4.
I was born a mother.
It's just it's so weird how we're, like, geared to think so negatively about our lives.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, whenever I stop and think about it, like, okay, I'm 35. I don't have any debt anymore. I've paid off whatever student loans I have. I now own my own house. Like, I still feel something is inadequate.
I still get it.
And it's not something I can alleviate, but I am very fortunate, and I don't have an extremely high paying job, but I am smart with my money. I'm intentional with what I do with it. I mean, which does include I've lent money to friends and had, you know, I'll go through and eventually make them pay it back or whatever. But, like, I don't put myself in bad decisions by spending thriftily. I don't put myself in bad decisions by having poor friends who make bad choices that I could potentially make myself, or be responsible for being around friends who make poor decisions. Like, and it's just a simple concept that so many people get wrong. Like, oh, I wonder why I'm in such a bad position, but I'm hanging out with my druggy friends all the time.
Yeah.
Shooting heroin 3 days out of the month, and I can't figure out why I'm such a depressed state. And nobody wants to give me a job, and it.
I mean, we have one druggy friend, but I mean, you know, it's just...
That's
where is he back there?
It was the dog. Yeah, it was the dog.
Oh, don't talk about Angel like that.
You didn't see her. She ran across the back there. Yeah. For the record, I'm teasing. Just for everybody, I want them to know I wasn't actually saying. I'm just teasing. That's all. Okay, continue. I was not making a serious statement.
Evil, I think you're really honest. That Preacher was saying he needs the metal music to get him pumped in the gym. You know what really gets me pumped in the gym is there are a few people that come in. Like a guy came in with a cane, right? And another girl came in and her shoulders are like up here and she can't move them beyond this, right? This is her life, right? And it's like an element of gratitude in me when I like actually like think about the lives that other people have to endure and go out and be confident and try. And I'm like, I am so grateful for everything that I have, even though I can see a million people around me have so much more, right? It doesn't matter. I am okay, right? And that's what gives me the fuel, man. It's the gratitude.
That was one of the points that I came up with that didn't make the cut, is just being grateful for what you do have. And it's such a simple and powerful thing because it does keep you in like a good mindset. And to be grateful for what you have allows you the room to feel bad about things that you should feel bad about, but then have that other side of the coin that when it flips, it feels so much better. Like you don't just get to live in depression. You don't just get to, this is my life now. Oh, what was me? Like you get the satisfaction of that other side of the coin. So
yeah. And I'm at that stage in my journey because I've recently just been thinking like I have a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house. Like I have a choice of bathrooms, and like you just take it for granted. You take all these things, these liberties that you have for granted. You got it
inside, outside.
Well, I can go that way or that way, and it's like I have all these nice things. I have a nice house. I got a big yard. I've got chickens. I've got a running car. I've got a shed. I've got like all these things. And I was sitting outside groveling one day because I just can't get this damn patio finished. It's like, what the fuck am I sad for?
Right.
Excuse my language. Sorry, YouTube, but fuck. Like, look at all the stuff I've got. Look at all the cool shit.
I do wonder about that.
Flintlock pistol.
Yeah,
it's fake. Obviously, it's a fake gun. It's a toy.
That's fake, by the way.
It's all fake. All fake news. Fake deer head.
These are not fake.
I agree.
These aren't fake. These aren't fake.
These are not fake. I agree with Evil, though. It's a sense of gratitude for what you have is fundamental.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're just chasing. You know, you got the meat on the hook in front of you. You're chasing it the whole time. And you never stop to see the 15 steak dinners you've passed along the way.
I wonder how much of that, because I know like some people use that as fuel to like the desire for more as fuel, but I almost feel like it's counteracted. Like we were talking about the guys on social media, they're like, you gotta make $1 million, and they build this sense of like you gotta just strive, you always have to have more. And I just don't think, I think that's why you see people like O.J. Simpson go crazy, right? Like they're not happy. They had everything. They had so much, but there's always more, right? There's always something. One little thing goes wrong, and it's like, I don't know. I just don't think those people will ever be happy. If you're always chasing the next tier of financial wealth, and you are in your head, oh, this next tier, once I get there, I'll be happy. It's like, no, you won't. You'll get there, and there'll be another tier of people looking down on you, and there'll be another set of everything. It's like, if you can't learn to be happy with where you're at, you won't be happy at the next stage. You won't. It doesn't magically flip. You will still be upset. So yeah, I kind of agree with that, and I think that's, again, we're talking about how modern society is really making us depressed. I think the fact that we do have this like constant need to have Louis Vuitton, right, or whatever, the obsession with more stuff, and just if I just get there, it's like I don't think that's healthy. I think that's why we're upset. You know, like. Everybody has to be the star.
It's always the joke that people say at the end of discussions with others that are like, oh, did we solve the world's problems? I think we might have today. I think we have.
If we can get people to apply it. Yeah.
I think we have solved them.
Yeah. No,
at least podcast to all the media outlets and get our faces in front of everybody you can, Preacher. I don't care which politicians you have to bribe or what you have to fondle.
What's your title?
This podcast can save the world. If enough people see it. That's why we do it.
Start with social media and then solve all the world's problems. What can I, because I want people to how do I title this? I want it to be honest, but because I don't want people for the first 40 minutes to see us talking about social media stuff, because I do think the second half is really good.
I think you should
Split it
pray
up.
about it.
Split it up.
Pray about it and let God speak into you the answer.
How to title
We've
it.
got 3 hours of content here.
Maybe
Obviously,
we solved. Maybe I could say we solved,
because
because what we were talking about on the social media was also problems, right? So I could just say we solved the world's problems, and then
Pedro Pascal.
And Pedro. Well, I mean,
world's problems and Pedro Pascal.
Oh, is that what I missed?
We saw
Pedro?
Yeah, you missed
I like it.
You missed Pedro's gropey hands.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
it's still on your tab, wasn't it? Just scroll up.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, yeah, but I can show that to him.
Just before you got here, Preacher, actually just before we started the podcast, Preacher was making fun of me for jiggling my titty.
Oh yeah, I said the evil.
Like,
yeah, he took evil spot.
I'm
Yes.
filling the roles.
I had to lean back. My camera's kind of in front of Evil, so I had to lean back so I could see that. I knew he was going to. He's a beautiful man.
Well, I think that has been a tremendous. Are you're done, right? So you went through all 10?
That's it, man.
Okay.
That's it.
I just want to make sure.
I'm gassed.
Yeah, me too. I think it was a great podcast. It's long, but it was worth it. I wish I would have known that, and I could have put that at the beginning so people would actually make it through. But I do think it's great, and I appreciate you guys coming and hanging out and chatting. Maybe I'll make it 2 podcasts. Maybe I'll break one up. I don't know. I can't.
I was just saying, cut it in half. It's
just so hard because it doesn't have a natural cut. So I would have to record something like, this is the ending of the first one. We have the second part coming up or whatever, So it'd be a little extra work, but maybe I'll do it. I don't know.
I have one more thing that would probably solve a lot of the world's problems. And that's if everybody would subscribe Brodacious Gaming on Twitch. Mm-hmm. The world would be a lot better place. Be sure to look me up there, TikTok, everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully on Kick soon.
It is on. I am live on Kick every stream now.
Okay, so Kick as well.
Full up and running there.
So if you don't want those socialist liberal, no, I'm just playing. All right, everybody. I will. We had a good one, so hopefully this will last you for the week. Love you. Talk to you later. We're gonna get this music started, and then we're calling it.
Come on, little Chad Brings